famous, number one, desirable. I do what I want when I want and how I want it. Leave you with the one in the air, that's how I roll. I got tons of soul, I'm a true collectible. Famous, also famous, number one, desirable. I do what I want when I want and how I want it. Leave you with the one in the air, that's how I roll. I got change throw, I don't care about no gold. Better, so much better, flipping incredible. Always on the show, so they know that I still got it. And I never feel sorry, yeah, top of the world.
Hey Untamables, this is author and poet Kiana Dene. I just wanted to send some love to Untamed in this Get Caught Up podcast with Writer Wednesdays. These tips are amazing. They are definitely very relevant in not only the author world, but the business world. And please, please follow and listen to this podcast and get your life together with branding, with promoting yourself, marketing, everything. All these Writer Wednesdays tips are the perfect jumpstart into making yourself promotable, making yourself marketable, and making yourself professional. So I'm sending you all love and ink. Have a great day. Hey Untamables.
And now, here is your host.
Hello, and welcome to the Get Caught Up podcast. I am your host, Untamed, and of course, I am joined with my lovely co-host, Miss Crystal, Miss Books and Soul. How are you doing this evening?
I am great. How about you?
Listen, I'm excited because I have pressed or typed the words finito, the end, on a few manuscripts, and I'm exhausted, but I'm getting exhausted because I'm like, hey, it's
Not the one I
possible.
want, though. It's,
So
it's it's not the one I want. It's not the one I want. But I'm gonna be patient.
I,
I'm gonna be patient because you
I
let me
feel
call
that.
you and you let me vent and you let me fuss you out because
No, you cussed me out.
I try to keep it clean. I try to keep it clean. But yeah, y'all, I get a little ratchet, real ratchet,
Little
because
ratchet.
she done put me through it with them characters because I can't take it. Mm-hmm.
Listen. Yeah, that's the next one. That's the next one up, and I promise you, that's the one I am most excited about typing in because as much as y'all want them characters, I want to give them to you because I'm sick of them too.
Yeah, because I told you I will drop a couple of them off for you off the
I know.
falls.
Listen,
Mm-hmm.
listen. I'm telling you. I told y'all what she talking about. She told me she was ready for me to give her this book, and she's creating this world for her upcoming, release as a novelist. And her world is called Crystal Falls. And I told her when I finish it, I'm dropping all the characters off in Crystal Falls, and they do what they want to do over there. They gonna get out of Untamed World, okay?
They going on a hike in my world and they gonna accidentally off the falls. So sorry.
See, first of all, I said I don't care what you do with it when they do there over there, and I am done. I'm done
Mm-hmm.
with these people. I mean, because
Yep.
I'm telling y'all, I would not. I don't see it in my spirit to ever do a series again, but not one that's not a standalone type of series. Because,
Mm.
woo, Jesus, that just it's a whole lot to go into it. But nevertheless, I am excited to be here tonight. This is actually my first interview. I'm a little chatty tonight because it's my
Yes.
first interview of 2024. Unfortunately, we had inclement weather when Mo Flames was on, and so we didn't have any power because we had a fierce storm, thunderstorm, and severe thunderstorm,
Mm-hmm.
tornadoes that was flying through here. So we was like, listen, no, I had y'all listen. I was up here. I live on a hill, and it stormed so bad. We had water coming through the bottom of our front door, my foyer. We had to get the shop vac and get water up because we was like, I said, I know we're not about to flood. So yeah, the house was
Mm-hmm.
flooded. It was horrible. That was a horrible storm that came through here, but. we're okay. My husband okay. My kids okay. As long as we have life, health, and strength, I'm good. You know,
Yep,
everything else
there
can
you
be
go.
replaced, but life, health, and strength cannot. But we are a okay. So I just hate that I was unable to make the interview because it was the very first one of 2024. But you know, me and Mo talked. She understood completely, and of course, you know, she'll be back again.
Of
So
course, of
she
course.
she's one of our resident, you know, one of our resident guests. So Mayhem Mo will be back again, and I'll be able
She
to
wasn't
give a
Mayhem Mo
second
that
voice.
time.
I
She
know
was
she was
actually mellow.
Mayhem.
Yeah, she
She was
was
Mellow
mellow
Mo.
because
She was
yeah, because
Mellow
Loving
Mo.
A Minor is a little. It's mellow. It was some drama, but it was definitely mellow. It was more of a little soft, loving side. Yes.
Oh, okay. She was Mellow Mo. So
Yeah,
I'm
she
gonna
was
get
mellow
either
Mo.
Mayhem or Mellow Mo back on here, one of the two. Maybe both of them at the same time. But
Hmm.
she'll be back, you guys, of course. And I just hate that I, you know, missed it because it's always a good time, and I enjoy this part of my life so much and being a podcaster because I just love talking to authors and I love talking books. So, you know,
What? Who you telling? Yes.
you know, but of course, I have to show love first and foremost to the people who give us a little change, and we ain't got to do nothing strange to get it. So,
That part.
we ain't gotta do that strange. So definitely shout out to Kiana Dene, EXO, JC, KB's Bookshelf, Tyler Landscape, and Jones Pressure Washing and Lawn Care, and me and my son's lawn care. You guys have rocked with us for many, many years, and I appreciate you so much for always
Thank you.
donating the money that jiggle and fold. My money don't jiggle, jiggle, it fold. You know. I
Yes.
love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much. Well, Miss Crystal, who do we have the honor and the pleasure of having on tonight,
All right,
ma'am?
let's do this because I got questions. Cause yeah, I got questions. So let's get started.
All right.
Author A.A. Lewis is a promising rising star in the urban literary literature world. Her sophisticated,
Sophista Ratchet.
sophisticated, yep, sophisticated writing style allows her to pen characters and stories that resonates with readers. Her ability to deliver the unexpected has earned her a best-selling title times on Amazon with realistic stories of urban life. It's no wonder why A.A. Lewis is becoming a favorite among readers. Born and raised in the vibrant city of Buffalo, New York, A.A. Lewis is a contemporary author whose literary works are deeply rooted in her urban upbringing. Drawing inspiration from the rich tapestry of her hometown, she skillfully weaves fascinating characters and compelling storylines that reflect the dynamic experiences of urban life. A.A. Lewis discovered her passion for storytelling at an early age. See, Mayhem Mode was at a tender age. See, you just at an early age. So, yeah, y'all in these early ages, and I don't know what to do. Finding solace and inspiration in the diverse communities that shaped her worldview. Her narrative, her narratives delve into the complexities of urban existence, capturing the essence of Buffalo's streets, neighborhoods, and the resilient spirit of its people. Through her writing, A.A. Lewis brings to life the voices often unheard, exploring themes of identity, resilience, and the pursuit of dreams in the face of adversity. Her stories not only entertain, but also serve as a powerful testament to the diversity and strength found within urban communities. With a unique ability to blend Jesus Christ, poignant realism with imaginative storytelling. A.A. Lewis has become a distinctive voice in contemporary literature. Her work resonates with readers from all walks of life, offering a glimpse into the beauty, struggles, and triumphs of the urban experience. A.A. Lewis is also the creator of the Black Readers Appreciation event, BRAE, and is building a platform of information designed to assist authors to enhance their brand. Through social media, live interviews, and consistent content posts, A.A. Lewis is helping bridge the gap between authors and those that support the writing reading communities. A.A. Lewis, welcome to the UP Hot Seat. How are you?
We got to shorten that up. I was like, hello,
That is
ladies.
that's so funny that you said that. Like most people be like, "Oh, I love that," and you like, "No, it's too long."
I was like,
No, leave
Listen,
it.
get all your accolades up in there, girl. We need it
Right,
all.
right.
you know, I I just want to say Sophista Ratchet. That's what I
Sophista
write.
Ratchet.
That's it. If I could
You
just
just gotta then just have your shirt on that says Sophista Ratchet, and whenever you interview, just that's
this is
it.
Pop
it.
your shirt
This is
out.
all I do. So no, thank you for having me on. I I feel honored every time I get to talk to you ladies. So thank you.
Oh, I feel honored that you
Oh,
said
thank
that. So thank
you.
you.
Yes,
Like
and we love having you on. And just
we
like we said
definitely do.
for Mo, you're another resident guest that's here, and we just love having you. Listen, because I feel like it's always a special, like, time when you come on, because the first time you were on, you closed us out and you're opening us up at the beginning of the year. So it's like,
Yep.
you always have a way to either round it out in a good way or open it up in a good way.
Good way.
So
Hmm.
I'm excited because I know, listen, it's either gonna end on a high note or begin on a high note. Whatever you hit.
Yes. I'm gonna tell you, like I told Mo, you are no longer a guest. You are family.
Oh
Like
yeah.
once you've been on here more than once, you family now. So it ain't no guest. Nah, our sis coming on today.
I was claiming you. I was claiming you no matter what. Like you were
Yes, that's what I'm
family
talking about.
from day one. I was just like,
We
no,
go together real bad, you guys.
okay,
We all go together real bad.
those my cousins.
Exactly.
Like I know one
Yes,
make
that's
a
what I'm
good
talking about.
macaroni and cheese, and one got to make a good potato salad. So we good. We good.
Exactly.
I just made some
Exactly.
potato salad too. I made potato salad Sunday for dinner, and it must have been good because my daughter ate it twice, took it for lunch, and posted it on her social media.
See, there
Listen,
you go.
now I'm gonna
Hmm.
tell y'all right now. I would make some macaroni and cheese, but look, I'd rather go to this restaurant that my husband took me to and go and buy their macaroni and cheese. I'm gonna tell you why. Y'all, my husband took me out. Krista, I told you he was taking me out. I put pictures of there if y'all seen it.
Uh huh.
It's not, it's a newer restaurant, but I mean, I think it's been here maybe a year or two. And you have to make reservations to go. So we thought, oh, we just gonna go and just see what it's like, and so we can have some alone time. And we get there, and it was like all 5 star, white and it's all it's nice. And so
Ooh.
I told my husband, I said, okay, I better be able to eat. Because sometimes you go to those
Right.
restaurants and your
Right,
food
right.
portions, you just be like, okay, this is a snack and it's not fulfilling. And I looked at the menu and I said, my God, they really do have food here. Because we had Cornish hens, wood fired Cornish hens with mac and cheese,
Ooh.
collard greens. And I
Mm,
said, really? This good old five-star restaurant, we got some collard greens? Okay, let's see
all
what this is going to be
right.
like. My expectation was not high. I bit into the macaroni and cheese and I swear the angels in heaven started singing. And, and I was like, who? How
Really?
people be on TikTok talking about something, who back there cooking? Who back there cooking? And then they get all this stuff.
I'm one of them people that asked the waiter,
And
"Who
I
back there? Is
said,
that person back there black?"
I told her, I said, the waitress came. She said, is there anything that's taking this issue? And I said, I just want to say this. I don't know who back there cooking, but they're cooking with all the love of every ancestral grandmother in the world. Because baby, these collard greens. I said that I didn't have to put. You know how they have salt and pepper and if they add oil.
Hmm.
We didn't have to put nothing on it. When I tell you it was cooked to
Wow.
perfection, everything was cooked to perfection. I was like,
Didn't you take a picture of the food?
I did take a picture of the food.
Yeah.
When I listen, that food was so good, and it was high. It was on some Ruth Chris pricing, but I was
Mm,
like, I wanted to sit here and be like, listen, can I just buy? I know I'm taking some home, but can I buy a whole nother meal?
You know what I'm saying? Now
how
that's when
you
you know the
know?
food good. You taking some
Mhm.
home and you still want to bring more. Yes.
I want to listen. She was like, well, we hope to see you back. Oh, you have to trust me. We'll be back. We'll be back. I was like,
Hmm.
I got
Well,
And
when
you
I
know
home.
you
come
don't eat
down there, you're
everybody
gonna have to
macaroni and
take
cheese.
us out there. You're gonna like
Mm-hmm.
now. I'm coming. I'm coming. South Carolina, right?
Right, right.
I'm
It was
coming.
a
I'm coming.
girl. It
That's
was
why I
so
told her, she,
good.
we just need to have a good time. Well, I'm not going to say it, but eventually I told her, I said, I'm going to have to slide through and we just have a good time.
Hmm.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Listen, come on down here. That was
And
ooh, that was
like
some
to,
good food.
I like to be on the plane somewhere.
You do, you do. Listen, every time I'm gonna have to learn how to get on the plane and go vacation. I get on the plane to go to work. I need to get on the plane to go
Mm-mm.
vacation.
I'm going to travel the world. Yes.
So
I'm with you,
I'm
Crystal.
yes. Every time I get on the plane these days, it's working. So I'm gonna change that up in 2024. I'm about to get on this plane and go vacate somewhere.
Yes, please do. Please do.
I will. I will. Well, Miss A.A. Lewis, you know we got our new segment on the show called "Get It Off Your Chest." And it could be a rant or it could be a rave. So I love to open up the floor with this because it gets our little juices flowing, and sometimes we end up getting information that we need, or even if we have news we can't absolutely not use, it's just good to hear. So,
That's true.
but do you have anything that you would like to get off your chest? It could be good, bad, indifferent, whatever you want.
Um, just because I saw this in my inbox and I missed the opportunity to address it on my social media platform when it first happened.
Mm.
This AI narrating, voice narration,
Come on, talk
it irks
about it.
my soul. It irks my soul. So
Mm.
it, let me say this: Amazon is a necessary devil. It's a necessary.
Yes.
Yep.
Just is.
Yep.
We're gonna have love hate relationships with this entity, but the fact that they want to take more money away from creatives, I have the biggest issue with them. And
Hmm.
what I noticed during last year Brave before I got ill was that if you have a book with Amazon and you use their ISB number, they have the right to use AI to do an audio book for you and not pay you money.
Are you kidding me?
The homework I did on this, and I looked at my inbox
Mm.
to join, get the link for tonight's show. And again, there was a blurb about AI technology in the narrating world and how this is exciting. And I was like, BS. This is BS. All it is taking away from creatives, both on the writing side and those voice actors who literally bring our characters to life. And
Yeah.
it hurts
Because
my
them little
soul.
AI people dry as hell.
Yeah. First of all, if I wanted it to be read by a computer, I would have put it in Word doc and just told you to press recite, and it would have, given you
Thank
that
you.
bland,
Thank you.
seasoned voice. And what I'm saying is, we have to start standing up and demanding, like. And I get it.
Hmm.
Everybody wants to do audiobooks. It has to be affordable. It has to make sense for your brand. But the fact that this entity is doing it in such a way that they're going to profit even more off of our talent bothers the hell out of me. So
Mm-hmm.
if
Yes.
my rant is nothing but do your homework, do not allow yourself to be taken advantage of, and by all means use the resources that are out there, because there are narrators that are not as expensive. You might have to save some coin. There are payment plans. There are options, people. We don't have to fall into this AI uh hole that is sucking the creative juices out of us, and we're not getting paid for it, or someone's losing pay off of it, especially us as authors and writers. You have to do the homework. And my fear is that there's there's they're pushing it, and there's going to be a whole bunch of us that fall victim to it. And if you think you're not getting paid off of the sales of your book with some of these larger entities like Amazon, you're not getting paid off the ebook and the paperback, what make you think you're gonna get paid off of that audio book if you're
Girl,
Thank
in
you.
control of
say
that?
it.
Like, we have got to look for more resources and platforms to showcase our talent other than the devil. We just got to be smarter. So my rant right now is, and continuing for 2024, is if I know it, you're going to know it. And I
I
think
love that.
I started getting my voice back without coughing and hacking up a lung. I think I'm going to start with this conversation because I really don't think that people are paying attention to that option. They said it was it was a pilot program during, the end of last year. I happened to notice it was on a whole lot of books that participated in our Black Readers event. And I was just like, I wonder if they know that they're test piloting this for them. And then, doing some research, I was like, oh, they're test
Hmm.
because they've used the IBN number and we've given them control. Like, we've got to start helping each other figure out how to maintain our creative power and keep our bags to ourselves. Them coins belong to you, not to
Right.
Exactly.
so
Not
And
to
I'm gonna
that's my
Amazon.
say,
rant. I had to get that off. I just saw it in my inbox. I was
Can you
and
can
I'm
you
a,
forward me that article? Because I'll also talk about it on the Writer Wednesday as well. Because I feel like the more it's out, the better.
yeah. And plus,
and
I'm
I'll tell
Thank
also
you.
you
supporting our Black narrators. Like, there's some hella
exactly,
dope voices out there, and
What?
every time I turn around, I meet a new narrator who is doing it and bringing
Yeah,
these
hmm
characters to life. So we don't want to stunt their growth and not support those that are supporting us. So
that is
exactly.
true.
And I would tell you, and I'll say this too as well. Um, to what you're saying in regards to the entire AI. Like one thing I love in the community, Jacqueline Protho. She's a production company, audio book production company, and DM's Diamonds. All of these places have in audio and black. They've taken a stand to like we won't promote, we won't support books that have AI in it. And it's not to knock the authors or anything like that, but it's because, and I stand in solidarity with that
yes,
I
because
agree.
we have so many talented people. And like you said, do your research. I mean, you may not be able to get Jacoby and Wesley, you know what I'm saying, on yours, but at the end of the day, there are a lot of people who listen to audiobooks just to listen to them. And so you don't necessarily have to have a particular narrator, just support the narrators in general
right,
who are here. This is a part of their craft because what you don't want to happen is all of a sudden, you know, you take it that far, it's like, all right, well, you want Amazon to start trying to make deals on the side with publishers and like, hey, can we get an AI book in this author's name? This, then the author still ain't getting that. Like, it's
Hmm.
crazy.
right,
I don't know what. Like, where do you put the cap on it? You have to
right.
put the cap somewhere, and it starts with, like you said, standing up and supporting, our creatives in their talent. Because at the end of the day, this is what I really want people to know about this. Um, they're treating this like it's something freaking new, and it's not, because at the end of the day, if, like you said, if I wanted AI to read, we have Alexa, we have Siri. There's an option on your iPhone when
Yes,
you put
Yeah.
up your Kindle, and it's called voiceover.
yep.
And if you put voiceover on, it is going to read you your book. And so it's like, if you can't afford to purchase the audiobook, you already have a built-in phone feature that
Hmm.
Thank
automatically
you.
translates your ebook. You have Alexa that transforms your ebook into an audiobook that's read by an AI person that's already built and installed in their software. So why in the world would I pay Amazon or pay another audiobook production company to put an AI voice on something that I can easily, if my ebook is out there, you can convert it. Nowadays there's a system where it can scan your paperback and read it to you. It's an app for that.
Hmm.
The
So
and see, for some people, listening to audiobooks is it's a pleasure, right? For me, it
Mhm.
has become a necessity because of some of my ailments that I suffer
Me too.
from COVID. I
Right.
have neurological disorders. So audiobooks keep me in tune with what's going on in our community. I am still able to support authors. I'm able
Mm-hmm.
to enjoy their craft and their stories, just in a heightened experience. And yeah, I'll still buy paperbacks and I'll still get ebooks, but it takes me that much longer for my comprehension, to grasp what I'm reading. But when I listen to an audiobook, I am exported to a different experience, and I feel the love, I feel the energy, I feel all of the creativeness that goes into voicing those characters. They
Yep.
become real to me. And that
Mhm.
used to be the experience I had when I picked up a paperback and I would read. So it is for the hearing I mean for the visually impaired community, for those suffering other ailments, audiobooks have
Thank
become
you.
our way of supporting, urban literature. And for them
Mhm.
to try to take that away and give us, like I said, unseasoned voices, like for
Mhm.
their personal gain, because it's not, the money's not coming back to us, it's not coming back into the community. The authors don't really reap the benefits of it. um like they're continuing to rape us creatively, and that's
That is
something that
true.
we definitely have to stand up for, including those that you know do it out of pure joy. But for those who do it out of necessity, you cannot fall into this hole that they're creating for us.
Mhm.
It is an illusion to get us to buy into not supporting the arts. And that
Right.
is something, as at being born and raised in a art, a art household, a creative household environment, like that is something that I will never get behind.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And I was really disappointed. It's a company like similar to Ex Libris and some of these other ones. Called Book Baby, and I when I first started, so when I was self publishing, I utilized their services, which was a phenomenal service to me because it was like a one stop shop. They did everything. You got 100% of your royalties. The fee to get all of this was very nominal back then. Now it's a little bit more pricey because they've increased and grown, of course.
Right.
But with Book Baby, I got an email and they was like, "We can convert your book into an audiobook using AI," and I wanted to scream because I was like, "This is." I often tell authors who don't have the resources or who don't, have the connections to the people they need in the industry to get those services done when they're self publishing because it takes a lot. You have to
Mhm.
format, you have to edit, you have to proofread, you have to, it's the covers. So when they don't have the knowledge behind it or the connections, I often say, listen, okay, here are some companies that can provide all of these services in a one-stop shop, for a fee.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still self-publishing, but do this. And I said, because you're not versed in it, you don't have a mentor, you haven't, you don't have the resources, you don't have the knowledge of who you need to go to. Because one thing is, I don't want anybody to get taken advantage of either. So it's
Right.
like, here's some companies who I know I've used. That disappointed me so much to see that they were using AI for audiobook. And I was like, I said, I wrote them and I was like, why? I actually wrote them. I did. I was like, why would you use
Good for
AI
you.
instead of using actual people? And I
People. Right.
understand that it might be more pricey and this is just a pay gimmick for you. But as a creative space, and you make money off of these authors because of a service that you provide, why would you then go and cheat another area of creativity to make a quick buck? Like it was appalling to me, and I absolutely dislike it. I just was like,
Good for you.
at some point, even when you're in the business of making money, you have to stand up to be for something,
Right.
Yep.
and against certain things. And I just feel like it
Stand up
does
for
a
something, don't
disservice
fall for anything.
for anything. And I just feel like,
Hmm.
at some point, like you say, we have to learn how to embrace the original, authentic nature of what we're doing.
Right.
Otherwise, think other things will begin to get lost, and we'll look up and everything will be AI generated. And there won't be a need for us to do anything because we won't have the opportunity to do it because the computer's doing everything. And the only people
Computers
that's gonna
can't
make
do
money,
everything,
exactly. Listen, that
and they
computers
do
can't.
break down.
Them AI computers can't growl and cuss and everything like these like these stupid generators can do. They can
Or
voice chat
slurp.
and or slurp like these stupid generators do.
You look, you'll see next week why I said slurp because
Now you'll see why I did that once you hear what I'm gonna read. But yes, no,
uh-oh, oh,
no. The
uh-oh,
thing is, the thing
uh-oh.
is, it seems like it's always geared toward our community, right?
Yeah,
Yes, yep.
forever,
Like
always.
because
Hmm.
I feel like, and having worked in corporate America, I feel like the target is, or the perception is, we're desperate to have these features, or to jump on the bandwagon. No, we're excited to be able to contribute in those ways,
Mm,
but we're never desperate. And for the few
never.
of us who really have to have it, I could see why it could be an alluring tool, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hmm.
But the thing
it's
is,
not.
no, we have to again go back to educating ourselves, which is why I say, like, I'm literally 2021, I mean 2024, I said, you know what, no matter what health wise I look like, there's two things I still want to accomplish. One, I want to be polished. My brand is to be polished. So I'm doing some things for myself as AA to elevate the brand. But also, I want to make sure that that polish, that refinement for the community means that I continue to educate us. And the more we know, the more powerful we can be, and we'll make more informed decisions. And I can't say that, I hope nobody does it, because I know the reality is there are going to be some of us who are going to go AI. I can't stop.
Right.
We can't stop that
And I've
movement.
seen it.
Now, I'm gonna just
But
say this.
wait a
Excuse me.
minute,
I'm
Crystal.
gonna,
But one
okay.
one second. But if I can tell you how you can get grants to get your book done, maybe you tune
Yeah.
into those platforms and your widen your reach and your research. So, like, don't think that it's just, it's only one way to do it. No, there are several different platforms and organizations out there that are willing to help. But if we don't know, if we're not teaching
Right.
each other, if we're not bringing it to the forefront, then we lose that polished refinement for the community that, we all want. So that's my goal for 2024. And I said, I'm going to put that under polish, because that means that the information has to be timely and relevant, and we all need to act on it, and we need to do our own research. That's the polished for your brand, for whatever that looks like for that author. But for me, it was the commitment to be polished in whatever it is I'm choosing to do, and how I'm going to add value to the community. So that's all I wanted to say. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Listen,
there are
No,
platforms.
but
listen.
I was going to just say real quick, the only thing that I love that you authors do that's AI is some of these pictures, the covers
Oh
to the
yeah,
books.
oh
That
yeah.
is it. But as far as voice, and I'm gonna just say this as a person who, when I before I even started listening to audibles, I did my books. I would let Alexa read my book. And when her bitsy butt said DA bitches, I was like, never again. I had to literally stop it and look at the words, and I was like, "It's duh, you dumb bitch." So, they're not going to be able to read it how we writing
No,
it.
No,
no.
they don't have the
So,
intonation and
no,
It
inflection
would
and
never
no,
be
not
everything.
the same.
whatsoever.
It will never be the same.
It will
And like
never
I
have
said,
that
Mm-mm,
clear. I'm
I
none.
said,
sorry.
Crystal,
That
I
was my
love.
rant. I took us down a
Oh,
rabbit hole.
that's fine.
You
Yes,
Listen,
added.
and
that's good.
I give it to you because, like you said, I love the pictures. But here's the thing: even with the AI pictures, you're still giving it over to a graphic artist to,
Yep.
do the cover. So it's like I don't. because otherwise you're shuffling through. And let's just be honest, because look, I can rant about this part too. You shuffling through the same amount of stock photography pictures on that's pushed through on 17 different sites, and it's the same black model
Same
in the
black
same
person.
poses,
On a
and
hundred different books.
on a hundred
Yep.
on 100,000 different books,
Yes.
and posed 10,000 different ways, and so
Mm-hmm.
that portion of AI has become almost necessary. And I
Hmm.
get it because I've done a personalized cover, and it does cost a lot to try to get your own models in and a photographer in, because you got to pay for all of that stuff that comes
Hmm.
with that, getting that done. So that has become an easy way to like capture models and capture, especially different kinds of models with different looks, and have
Right.
a graphic designer craft a book cover for you.
Yes.
You're still paying the artist to do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us are still like, there's so many people. You can, yes, of course, you can try to create AI in your own image, but you still have to pay someone to try to create that, those images that you need, or
Hmm.
purchase something that's pre-made, and then take that and give it to a graphic designer.
Yep.
So I see with that, I see like the benefit of it, as well as we're still utilizing creatives to do the things that we need to do, and we're not completely cutting them out. But with this whole audiobook deal, it, like you said, now you're cutting out the narrators, now you're trying to cut out the authors. And see, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're trying to create this platform to completely take over, so that the actual creators are getting nothing. They're they're
Right.
they're not they're not even a part of the process anymore. And that right there is something that has to stop. And I'm so glad for everyone who's taking a stance against it. Because I, for one, like you said again, I like for them to act out my scenes. They have done that. Gone are the days when we gotta listen to these monotone, voice computer rated generated people. We have people who have gone to school, and I support that, because listen, these narrators out here, a lot of people think, oh well, they're just jumping on here. Let me tell you something. These people are classically trained. They are
Hmm.
going to
Thank you.
Yale. They are professional actors. They
Yep.
are a part of SAG unions for voice actors, for actors. They have
Hmm.
won, distinguished awards. You know,
But that's
pay them
because
their
people don't do
worth.
their research. They don't
Pay
do
them
their
their
homework.
worth.
Yeah.
Exactly. They
No.
have they have value, and they have worth, and they deserve to be paid for that value and for that worth.
Yeah.
And you're
Hmm.
gonna reap the benefits of it, absolutely, 1,000 times over. So, I just wanted to put that out there because I got to stick up for my good black narrators. We love
Thank
them.
you. Thank you.
We
we
love
love
them.
our
Yes, we do.
we
And I'm like
love
I said, I'm
them.
new to this, and I'm at 160 audibles now within a
See,
year.
Good
I
for
totally
you.
Yeah,
I
and
ain't
that's just on one platform that I paid for. I ain't even gonna talk about the other platform that I use. How many I got over there? So
girl. Listen,
yeah,
and for those, and look, so this ain't a rant. So this is the, hey, you about to be on. Look, you about to be on some Writer Wednesdays now. I have to
yeah,
knock you
pretty
down. Come
much.
on, come on and be
Come
in the
on over here. We might have to
platform.
do a little impromptu interview together.
Look, look,
Let me know.
I
you
got you.
family. So now that you family, we have you as guest. You'll be guest hosted over here in a minute.
Uh-huh.
Like, what's your rant for today? Because every time it seems like every time I turn around, there's something affecting the urban literary world or our
And we
community.
need that. We
And
need
I'm
that.
just like, did anybody else see this? Because I ain't seen nobody post about this. What's going on? Why
And
is it in
listen,
small print in this letter that you just sent me?
listen,
See?
you learned. Look, you learned me something. It's older people can say you learned me something today. Because I did not know that
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Listen, two things that I'm gonna always do. I'm gonna always read the fine print because I worked in banking, right? And this
Right.
is
Yeah.
this is something for that all anybody anytime someone's trying to solicit you, right? It's going to be in color. It's going to be a beautiful picture. There's movement. We all laughing on a thing. You don't care about that. What you care about is that fine print at the bottom, because that tells
Mhm.
you how either you're going to be taken advantage of if you don't read this in its
If
entirety.
you don't read,
It's
mm-hmm.
costing you money and time. And this is how it's going to affect you. So when they say, oh, and they hand you like a packet or something and be like, oh, just read the fine print, read it over in your spare time. I pretty much told you everything you need to know. You go home and you read all of that.
You still read it.
And if it takes
Mm-hmm.
you a week to read it, then you call them back. And I feel like a lot of what's happening in our community is that fine print, and we don't hear
Mhm.
about it until it's too late, and like 20 of us start to see how it affects us, and we all complain in a post. Like, I want
Right.
to get to, let's not allow 20 of us to be taken advantage of. Let's read that fine print and discuss it right now so that we all
Mhm.
know, and when it does start to happen, we'll be that much wiser, because we can either opt out, opt into the BS, or we can control it instead of allowing it to
Mhm.
control us. That's how you
I
do
love
Absolutely.
it.
And you
I
know
love it.
what? I want companies to be like, I bragged about this. I cannot remember the name because my baby son went with his little friend girl to the escape room. And every time you
Wait a
go
minute. Wait a minute.
somewhere,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not letting you escape over that. His
Thank
little
you.
friend girl.
his little friend girl, okay, he went with his friend girl to this.
I love
Let me
it.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you what. My son, my baby son is so different, y'all. Look, just insert this real quick. This child refuses to call a female his girlfriend
Okay,
because
that's where.
he says, because he says to me, I will know when he have a girlfriend because she will be his fiance.
Oh,
And there you go.
I said, and I can't even argue with it because in this day and age, the art of dating, look, I don't want to jump into a whole other conversation, but the art of dating is lost. And he
Right.
is
yeah.
one that is like, no, I'll date. He's not opposed to it. He's like, I don't want nobody to tie me down. I don't want to tie nobody down.
I
I'll
love that
date.
friend girl.
Is your son in his 20s?
This is my baby son. He is
Her
16 years
youngest
No,
old.
one.
my
Mm-hmm.
24-year-old. It sounds like my 24-year-old because I laugh because I sort of hear some of his conversations from time to time, and I don't care because he don't watch anything his mama do. So I'm gonna talk about him real quick. I said I overheard a conversation, and the young lady was like, "I love you," and he was like, "Okay, so." I was like I
He
was
must know my son. He must know my son. My
I
son
was
24.
invested.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, she said she loved you. He was like, okay. He was like, but I'm not gonna say it back to her. So
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
so then he said to another female, she was like, I'm really starting to have feelings for you. He was like, but we already discussed how our
Hmm.
relationship is supposed to go. And I was just like, look at you trying to
I'm
control.
telling you, these boys to men at this now is
Yes.
totally different. Because my son the same way, and he don't watch stuff. I can talk about him too, and I'll tell him to his face too. But he has a friend, a female friend that he's had around like since high school, and then like he's meeting new people, and he's like, "Oh, I don't go with nobody. I don't go with
That
nobody." And he lets them know that. He said we're not in a
Yes,
relationship.
yes.
So, like they're different now. And I love it. I'm
But
not gonna lie,
I
I love
love
it.
I will tell
I
you,
love it.
I will tell you
Yeah.
what we had because we have boys, and I got in
Yeah.
trouble because one of the older boys brought a girl home, and it was his girlfriend. And I used to joke and be like, "You got flavors of the week," and I accidentally called the girl the wrong name because she favored the girl who came last week for dinner. And after that, because he was like, that's not who that was. And she was like, oh, you still talking to her? And I was like, oh, hold up. We're not doing that. Like it's my apologies. I was like, I think he got a type, because y'all look similar. What we
Mm-hmm.
Me and D from that point on, he was like, listen here, don't bring no woman home unless she
Mhm.
needs something. So no more Sunday
Mhm.
dinners with casuals. Once we laid
Mhm.
down that law, can I tell you, they had not brought a girl home. Like I met right before they was about to be engaged. literally, that's when they started bringing him home, and I knew at that point that this was a real relationship
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
going somewhere, and he was fully
neither
invested, and that's how it's been for all the boys. And even the youngest said to me one day, he was like, "Mom, I almost did it," and I was like, "Almost did what?" He was like, "Almost brought a girl home." He was like, "Changed my mind." He's like, "I dug a little
can I
deeper,
tell you?
reanalyzed the situation. We not ready for that." And I was like, "Good
I,
Lord."
Yes, these
listen,
they
when I
different
say
now.
they be so grown about it, and I'm gonna tell you now. This is one thing. Now, my oldest son, he's the type. He is just a lover, and so he will dive into a relationship. But what I love about him and my baby son, they're like that. He's not going. He can be in a relationship with somebody, but until it gets serious, he listen. He be like, "Yeah, I'm talking to such and such. That's as much as I know."
Hmm.
And I won't know nothing else until he's like, okay, well now it's serious. You can come over here. I would tell you, my baby son, like when I told you he went to this mastermind, I'm gonna get back to what I said about it was a mastermind. He asked me, they was on Christmas break. He was like, he came to me, he was like, Mom, my friend girl, Jayla, she wants to go out. And he said, I want to go to see if I can go to the mastermind with her to do this escape room. I said, okay. And I was like, that's when I was like, well, how you going? Because this particular day I couldn't take him. And he was like, oh, well, her mom would take us, and this is her mom's name. And I said, okay. Now, I go to ask, so, now I'm starting to dig. Like, now I got questions and stuff. And so, girl, y'all, I promise y'all, my son is in the 11th grade. And I said, oh, where'd you meet her at school? And he said, yeah. And so when we got to talking a little bit more, he has known this girl ever since he was in the 6th grade. She has liked him since they were in the 8th grade. They have been talking since like 9th grade. It's like
Oh,
just, converse, like just talking,
hmm,
talking. But I didn't hear nothing about her until he was in the 11th grade. She wanted to go out to this mastermind. And so I was like, okay. But even with that, they made like little arrangements to go out and go to like different places to the movies and stuff. He won't bring. The closest she has came to my doorstep when her mama said she wanted to pick up my son, and we went outside and met his mom, and he got in the car. But I said, "You want to bring over son to dinner?" He was like, "Nope." I
because
said,
I'm telling you, like, it's you're right. It's
"No."
now. I think they're at that point of stop bringing this woman home to mama. Because
Hmm.
mama might like her, and then I really don't like her, and then now your mama be like, "Oh, what happened to so and so?" So if
Hmm.
I don't bring you around her, then I ain't got to worry
my
about it.
my son told me he said, "Yeah, I like her." He said, "But I'm getting ready to go off to college, and I
See,
might
yep,
like
Smart
somebody else."
man.
And
live
so
your life.
I said, you know what, nigga, like, cause he's straight up, he's honest, about how he
Hmm.
feels with her. I said, as long as she know, he said, she know, I tell her all the time. I said, oh my goodness, and then but I appreciate the honesty.
Yep.
But the whole thing that I was saying about this whole mastermind thing was, I wish more companies would be like them when they make you read the fine print, because they
Yeah.
have, they always have this disclosure form just in case something
Hmm.
happens. And
Yeah,
so, but they want you to read the fine print. They had like 8 rules, right? And you have to sign off on it, and then most people just sign it and move on. There was a box at the end, and it said, "Check this box if you read um, rule number 4," and then it said, and tell us your answer." And I was like, I read everything, and I laughed when I got to that, because I was reading the rules of the place, before I signed off for my kid to go there without me, and I was like,
right.
I got to number 4. And number 4 was the most hilarious asinine statement ever. And you just knew it was one of those things they put in there intentionally for you to read. It was like, number 4, talking about, we have the right to come in the room and scare you to bejesus, and then it was like, it capture you on photo, and we might sell it on eBay for 15. It was the craziest thing.
To
And
see
so,
if you really paying
right, to see
attention.
if you really are paying attention to it. And so then they asked, the last question was like, So do you give us permission to make fun of you? And so it was like, and so when they checked the box, your answer had to be yes. I give you permission to make fun of me. Like if you could answer that question, it would not let you sign it. So it was like you had to go back and read. So it forced people to like read the book.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so, and I feel like that's how they should be with fine print instead of
Mhm.
trying to hide it for you. Be straight up because people up here, it's like people don't read it, but they get under so many companies get under lawsuits because people
Yep.
find loopholes and say, "Hey, I know, but it didn't say this, or I didn't say." I mean, you can sit up here and sue McDonald's for making you fat, knowing getting well that's a fast food chain restaurant, and win.
Right.
These lawyers don't care about the fine print no more. They'll find a
And
loophole
not
to
even that, they didn't put their stuff in their mouth. You drove through the drive-through and paid for it and took it home with you. They didn't shove it in your mouth.
let me
And
tell
You did.
you.
nobody told me to eat like 6 filet of fish sandwiches.
Right,
Thank
right.
you, thank you.
I'm only
I
supposed
Your
to
mind
take
told you to eat that many.
I'm gonna be like one of them one day. The latest lawsuit I heard that has actually got approval to go to court is Reese's Hershey's company is being sued because of the wrapping of their Halloween pumpkin candy because it has the wrapper has a design with the pumpkin with the eyes and all of this cut out, right? But when you open it up, it's just in the shape of a pumpkin. There's no design. So the woman is suing them. It is actually got credibility to court because it did not have design. She bought it for a party and she thought it was gonna have designs on the candy, and she said it was false advertisement
Did she
because
read the fine print?
the cover, the wrapper has designs on the pumpkins, but the
wow.
pumpkins do not have a design. And it is actually going to court, and she might actually win, and she's suing them
And you want to know
for a
what? I
full
couldn't
$2
be on
million.
that jury. I couldn't be on that jury because I would say this, especially if you know. So say you on a jury with somebody you know, like y'all best of friends and everything, and people think they the sweetest person in the world, but in all actuality, you know they the ugliest person in the world. So I can sue them too because y'all out here falsifying that you the nicest, sweetest person in the world, but in all actuality, you a bitch. Like that
Listen,
doesn't make any sense.
I'm gonna tell you to
That's
go for
crazy to
it.
me.
I'm gonna tell you to go for it because you might get it. You might have a case. You might have a case. You might win. She's suing
That's
them for like
crazy.
$2 million, and
And
she
then
probably
suing them
gonna
for
win.
$2 million, and you ain't even
She
pay that
probably
much
gonna
for the.
win. She's suing this
And
about
see
$2 million
this?
off of
Mhm.
$15 worth of candy.
She open them
But
open palm people.
uh, you,
Then she probably gonna win. She probably gonna win.
I don't even have words for that.
Me either.
But
She wasting the judge time, that court reporter time, them people sitting in that little box. That
this is my
Listen,
thing. You opened up that candy. You had to look
thank
at it.
you. Thank you.
I'd have put the candy right back inside, took it back to the
Thank you.
store,
And took it back.
and said, "Hey, this isn't what I thought it was. I like a refund or an
That's
exchange,
all
whatever that looks like." I am never that pressed to be like, "Oh, they must go down for this." Like there's a few
for
girl.
$2 million.
passionate where I'm like, "You must go down for this," and we just heard about that one. But
Right.
I'm never that person. Like
Girl, when I
the people. Hey, to each his own. If that's the way you get your come up, get your come up. Like I can't even be mad at that. But I'm like, it's just like, but why? Why? But anyway,
why?
I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
I look. I'm like you. I read. I said this is the craziest thing, and people are getting rich off of these stupid little loopholes. But but anyway, before we go to break, I do want you, AA, because we've talked to you before and gotten to know you as an author. But Bray is not new, but it can be fairly new to some people, some authors, and some
Mm-hmm.
listeners here. I do want you to talk briefly about Bray because we want to dedicate, our next half of the show to your book. So I want you to just talk a little bit about Bray. So the listeners can know what it's about and just so we can help it grow.
The Black Readers Appreciation event. Um, it started out as me just wanting to celebrate um National Authors Day.
Mhm.
And I thought, instead of me celebrating me, because there's so many national author days. There's Black National Author Day, Independent Author.
Mhm.
There's a lot of days where I had, I celebrate me, but I wanted to give back to the readers. And what started out as, maybe I'll just ask a few people if they want to join me, it turned into a celebration of readers. And this will be year 3, and there's so many, there's some huge announcements coming when we get further down the year. But
Ooh.
because we were talking about audiobooks, hint hint. Anyway, I
Ooh.
just it is the most um humbling experience, because I get hundreds of authors participating and gifting, their books for free to readers. And it's a 5-day celebration where readers can log into one site, download as many books as you want. I'm really into diversifying that author pool and the genres that's represented. So we've had everything from children's books to Christian to street lit, contemporary,
Mhm.
romance, you name it, it's been on there. We had cookbooks, some spiritual books, some affirmation books. There was such an eclectic and diverse palette of reading. There was something there for everyone. And it's all free, and it's for readers. And it happens the first week in November, November 1st through the 5th, because it kicks off National Authors Day. And it is just a huge celebration. So shout out to all the authors that participate, because I know it's a lot when I jump into your inbox and I say, hey, I need you to gift this for free. But I think we get so much more in return, because we're opening our catalog up to thousands of potential
Yeah.
readers. And this is the community coming together, because like there may be readers who've never heard of me, or or Untamed, and soon you, Crystal. They don't know who we are, but this is their opportunity to get to know us and become lifelong fans. And the beauty of that is it keeps recycling itself. So yes, it's authors giving, our talents away for free, but we gain so much more, because the readers show up year after year. And this was last year, was only year 2.
Yeah.
I say more than 60,000 downloads, because we had some technical difficulties and it wasn't tracking right the first half of the first day. But when you get over 100,000 people visiting the site, like my goal is for no one to leave without finding something. And
Right.
Mhm.
I know people are finding things, because the inbox, the receipts, the correspondence through the website, people are excited for Bray, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. So I am really looking forward to September, October, and November, when we start ramping up for the event this year. It'll be bigger and better.
I'm excited. I'm
Listen,
always
I'm
excited when you do
excited.
this. I told you, if you need me, just
Oh, listen, there
And
will be a team this year. Listen. There's the sign up sheet went out, and people were like raising hands, which is also another
oh,
beautiful thing.
can you get it on your like go through your your IG to get the sign up sheet?
I didn't even put a sign up sheet. People just, they were like, "Hey, I'm committed to doing this. I'm committed to helping." And it's such a beautiful thing, because again, I just wanted to do something nice for readers. And the
Yeah.
fact that
mhm.
other authors are feeding off of that positive energy, and the thought of giving back to our community that supports us. um they just said, hey, I want to help. I had so many people want to help, and that's the beauty of it, because it's bigger than me. And I would be doing it a disservice if I was a control freak and was like, no, I'm the only person who can handle this. Oh, no, 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 no,
Right.
no, 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 no. All my brothers and sisters and cousins, all of you are
No,
welcome
that's
to
right.
help. Because when I tell you over 100,000 people, And little old me trying to manage all of this myself.
Oh yeah, I can
The
only
Yes, sir.
imagine.
email correspondence coming in from the website, we were averaging 20,000 a day. And here I am all morning long, just typing away, copying and pasting, typing it away. Like I was so overwhelmed in a beautiful blessing. You know what I mean? So I kept going and I was just like, next year, we need a team. We need a team.
Well,
And
I want to be
Yes.
part of the team. So,
and
I
I
slid in your
welcome
DM.
you to the team.
Yes.
So in September, when we start putting this all together and you wanting to lend your talents, you'll say, this is what I want to do for you. Because I'm not saying, hey, this is what I want you to do. I need you to tell me where you think you could best
Oh, you
use
shouldn't have told me that. I'm gonna go ahead and write it all up, and I'm gonna send it to you now because I want to get to you before September.
it. And I accept all of those blessings.
All right.
I
Listen,
do.
and
I am not stingy with it.
I want
I
to tell
love it.
you thank you because I was a participant and I've been in the participant embrace since the inception of it, and I was able to this year see, well, both years, but this year see the growth in it because my numbers were so, and I didn't even advertise as much as I could because I was so busy. But even with the little bit of advertising I did, I think my numbers hit somewhere like with 2,500 downloads,
Yeah,
across
that's
my
what she was
books
saying.
all together. And I want to say, even with, because you open it up for us to even do our own personal links, and that even helped
Hmm.
me in a different way because I was able to use my book funnel for one of my books. I was able to put on there where, okay, sign up for my mailing list, and then as soon as you do this, you can get this download. And so that increased. I literally gained 150 new people on my mailing list within
Mhm.
3 days. And it was that's a blessing to me in itself because there is no way that I would have got 150 people like that without Brave. So it has
Yeah.
opened up doors and opened up other doors and avenues that you weren't even expecting to be open.
Untamed, that is music to my ears. And that's what I wanted because I was like, this is an opportunity to increase your readership and
Hmm.
Hmm.
take advantage of the opportunity to use your own website links and grow your subscription and your newsletter. When Bray's subscription keeps growing. And it's weird because we're not doing anything. But what I've been doing on a monthly basis is I'm trying to gather information that I think these readers and other authors might like to know. So I share upcoming events. I share some
Yep.
new releases, for of authors who have participated in the event. I'm sharing information like we got the literary gem awards coming up. Like we had Audio in Black in their Audi awards, the even the nominating and the voting. I'm sharing
Right.
all of that because that's part of the community and it keeps growing. So I think we're up to 2,800
That is
Wow.
so good.
subscribers. And when I look at the like I can see and track how many of those emails are getting open. It's still high
Hmm.
80%. So I'm sitting here like this is huge. Like
It is.
Hmm.
and
It
and
is.
and I'm one of those people. I'm so laid back because I'm just like, well, if it work, it work, right? If it don't, I learned a lesson and hopefully I can perfect it the next go around. But this Bray has been such a blessing in itself for the community. Like I just I want to continue to see us succeed. So like I said, there'll be some really great things coming down for this year, but even for next year, let me just put this out there for you. We're taking the Black Readers Appreciation event and turning it into an expo. So I'm in
I'm
the works.
excited.
I was like
Oh my gosh,
2025,
congratulations.
2025. I'm putting it out there. I wanted to do it for this year, but it would be rushed. Um,
Right.
and some possible really great collaborations may come out of this that I'm pushing for. But even if it doesn't and the timing isn't right, like we're still doing it. Like so I'm
Mhm.
heavily invested and I want to go to the one place that I know every all authors have been saying they really want to go to. So we're going to New York with it. I
Mhm.
So 2025, I haven't finalized the date. We just kind of um secured a location, so it's huge. And I wasn't gonna say anything, but it's part of Bray, and I want everybody
Oh,
to get excited, not just for 2024, but for what's coming down the line. So when I say we keep wanting to go bigger and better, we want to go bigger and better.
yes. Oh, I'm
Awesome.
excited.
Awesome.
I'm
I'm
definitely excited.
excited. I'm
Yes,
so excited.
congratulations. See something small, something small. Look how big it turns. And that's one thing I can say. That's what I love about this community. I started in this community 2019. I didn't think I would be where I'm at. I'm not, I'm not doing huge things like you are, but what I'm doing is
Mhm.
perfect and I love it. And I'm telling you, I don't get enough sleep.
What I'm gonna tell you, first of all, let me do this. Shout out to Untamed, because the article
Oh,
in Intellectual Inc. Thank you. Like
you are
Yes,
I
I
didn't
so
saw that.
drop
welcome.
it
Yes.
on Bray that way. Thank you because that was
You're
huge.
welcome.
Um, but the collaborations that are starting to come out of this, like I'm a fan of Intellectual Inc. I monthly,
Yes.
quarterly, when was quarterly, I was going and getting a copy from Amazon. Like I was dedicated to it because I was like, I'm supporting the community and it's so much talent
Right.
behind this magazine.
Yes.
So for me to actually be in the magazine was huge, and it was about Bray, and that's what I loved about it because it was not about me. It was about what we're trying to do for the community, and there are so many other people who are trying to do positive things for the urban literary world. Like this is just a small part, but to all the authors that participate, like Crystal, I came to you and I was like, hey, like would you like to promote? How can I
Yes.
promote? It, without your backing and support, we would have
Oh,
we would have missed out on reaching other readers. So it's been
thank you.
a
Thank you.
collaborative effort. So
Right.
what you do is important because you ladies have the ears of the readers, which
Right.
is why when I promote get on, Get caught up podcast, people, the door's about to open. And as soon as the door
Right.
Right.
closes, don't miss these opportunities because you have that connection with the community that many of us authors need. So what
Right.
you
Yes.
do is more important than anything. I could write 100 books, but if I don't get it into the hands of the people who need to read it, like without you,
That
there's no
part.
me. So we work
Yes.
side by side. And I just love that because out of this, like I said, the collaborations that are happening are so pertinent to the community. And the authors who are like, well, I don't know any book bloggers or podcast people that support. Listen, they all support. If you don't make
Yep.
Exactly.
listen, if you don't make friends with the book bloggers and podcasters that support our community, you are missing out on an excellent opportunity to reach
Hmm.
Ooh, please
and
say that
to
part
market your
again.
books. So, like, Bray does all of that for you. And I appreciate everything that you ladies have done to help support that movement.
Oh,
You're
you are
welcome
so
and thank you
welcome,
for it.
and we
Because
we
my
appreciate it.
yeah, my
It
Kindle
is
is
a
out of control.
I don't have time to actually physically read, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I'm going on here. I'm gonna get some books. Now, when I take my vacations and stuff, I do sit here and I read. I bring my Kindle with me and I break it out then. But my thing is, I always want to be able to support, this person because a lot of
Hmm.
times what has happened, even especially with Brian, we might have a guest that comes on and they say they want to discuss a book, and I might be like, oh, I don't have it, and I go to my Kindle and I'm like, wait,
And
wait,
I
wait, wait.
have it.
Yes, and I
Yep.
have this book. So I was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Let me try to prep myself, and get as much as possible for this interview. So it's like it has helped us in this way as
It
well because
definitely
it's like
has.
a lot of times the authors will come on and because I'll download. I'm a proponent. If I like the storyline or the book cover, I might just download. I might not have never heard of you, and then if they come like 6 months
Yep.
later, like, "Hey, do I want to be? Can I be on the show?" And I'm like, "Wait, oh, I actually got your book in my Kindle. Wait a minute,
Mm-hmm.
let me go ahead and read it." So it's like now they've captured my attention now, and I may end up being a whole fan of theirs and be like, you know what? Now I'm about to devour your catalog,
Yep.
Yep.
because now I'm interested. I've read this book and I'm interested in whatever else you have to say. It's a continuous cycle, and so we definitely appreciate it. But I'm gonna take a quick break right here because I want to come back and I want to get into your book, The Dom. So I'm gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm gonna read the synopsis for it, and we're gonna dive into a few questions about the book, and you have a snippet. I listen. Normally, I do the snippet first, but because this is from your upcoming book that's coming, I want to talk about the book a little bit. Then I'm gonna let you do the snippet. I'm gonna
Okay.
let you give us a little teaser for your upcoming book. So
Oh,
we
I
will
don't
be
know if I'm gonna
right.
be ready because I wasn't ready for this one. Whew.
Listen,
This one was
listen.
mild.
You know what? It definitely was. I said, oh, she ain't. I said, oh, he ain't no Veronica. This one was definitely Mal, but I told Untamed earlier. I said, I think I want a Stephen Brick.
Listen. She
I want a
said it.
brick.
She sure did. She did.
Mm.
But we will be right back in just one moment.
I'm hotter than his hometown. Mary wasn't our go round. Amateur to profound. Biggest loser got more pounds. Off a profile running really go miles. My web presence so miles ain't touching my freestyles. Got dope, free loud, that's your speakers when me wild. Until the party's up, keep up the front. In the meanwhile, to me, I'm hotter than his hometown. Mary wasn't our go round. Amateur to profound, biggest loser got more pounds. Off a profile running really go miles. My web presence so miles ain't touching my freestyles. Got dope, free loud, that's your speakers when me wild. Until the party's up, keep up the front. In the meanwhile, to me.
Untamed Publishing has partnered with Katie Creatives to present to you UP pre-made book covers. With over 200 covers to choose from, we're sure you'll find exactly what you need to fit your author needs. Just visit www.untamedpublishing.net.
Hey Untamables, it's Kiana Dene, poet and author. Just wanted to stop by and ask, have any of you read any of my poetry lately? If not, you can pick up my books on Amazon, Barnes& Noble, anywhere else you get your books, and of course my website at kianadene.wordpress.com. Now back to the show. Hey
Hello, 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 and we are back. Welcome back to the Get Caught Up podcast. And before the break, we were speaking with Miss A.A. Lewis and having a very in-depth conversation about something in the literary industry to get it off the chest now. If you didn't take time to listen, just rewind it because I'm not even gonna bring it up. Just rewind it and, and listen to it so that you will know what to get it off your chest was about. But it was very informative. But that is her. She is a mountain of information and she does
Yes.
not mind delving it out, for all of the creatives, the readers, and the look, as I always love to say, the upcoming new in the season offers. So definitely make sure that you go back and you listen to it and you check it out because it's very informative. And we also discussed Bray, the Black Readers Appreciation event, and how that has just culminated into such a big and booming vital part of this literary industry for so many authors in so many different ways. So that has been exciting. But right now, we want to get into her book. And tonight, we're going to be discussing The Dom. And I'm going to read the synopsis for The Dom, and then we are going to get into questions. So let me make sure I got the right one because this is a part of a series. And I'm gonna let you touch on, the second book too, AA as well. So you can tell the readers what you told me about Miss April. So yes, that is
Ooh.
look, I was like, oh yes. Okay. But this is the synopsis for The Dom. Stephen Brixton Woodward is a complicated man. Born into one of the wealthiest families in New York, Stephen, or as he is known to family and friends, Brick, is the epitome of a white man of privilege. He married rich, abides by the family rules, and even managed to have the standard two children and a dog. With all the riches, material possessions, and power that comes along with running a family empire, there wasn't much that Brick longed for, needed, or desired. That was until his membership to the infamous Phoenix Gentlemen's Club opened his eyes to a new world of pleasure. Brick's desire to be serviced and dominate over women went from fascination to reality as his fantasy began to play out in real life. The only caveat, all his submissives must be of a lower class. Brick had always been a philanthropist. He saw his fetish as a way to give back to the women he dominated. They would service him sexually, and in return, he would bless them with riches and material things. He would even go so far as elevating them up to a suitable standard so that they could attract a man that could provide for them the lifestyle he was showing them. Brick had everything he wanted in life until a chance meeting with his business banker changed everything. For Brick, interracial relationships were too taboo to consider. But one look at April Sharp mm, changed all of that. Obsessed with his desire to dominate
Mhm.
April, Brick embarks on a yes to make April his. All about on a quest to make April his. Little did he know this course of action would jeopardize everything. Now, The Dom is the first book in the proposal series. Author A.A. Lewis explores the soldier side of BDSM and interracial relationships. This journey of lust, power, and dominance will leave you clinging to the edge of your seat. Filled with drama, twists, and turns, the Dom is sure to leave you wanting more. That is
Wow.
the synopsis for the Dom. Listen, he said, April got him together, honey.
It, 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 mm. Like that man was mesmerized when he walked in that bank.
First
Listen,
look. That man said he was gonna be back the next day.
pure moment of transparency. As a business banker, I have met several bricks in my time.
Damn, then I'm in the wrong business because I told her earlier, I said I
No,
need a brick.
listen, now
I,
wait a minute now.
because it because the book it was narrated by my husband D. Lewis. So when he narrated the book, he was like, Brick gives me like he comes across, I was like, yeah, entitled. He's entitled. He's wealthy. I
He
said,
is.
no.
Yes.
I pulled from my experience of being the only black woman in a powerful position, dealing with
Hmm.
mostly the affluent male, white male, male of privilege. And the way that they would talk to me, like there was no filter. And like I'm a
Mm,
curvy girl, and
Hmm.
I got chest assist. So it wouldn't matter what I wore to work. It showed off my curves. And I like and black women, when we black women, right? So
Right.
you're never
mm-hmm.
gonna catch me slipping in my role. I came prepared. Not only was did I look the part, but I was the part. And in
Right.
dealing with some of these more affluent white gentlemen, um, they felt free to discuss my curves. I came to discuss a business and have you sign these documents because I'm selling today. I got to close these deals. You need $1 million. I got it. Like, that's my role. But a lot of them felt, oh, they felt at ease discussing me.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
I said I
Mm-hmm.
needed Brick to come across that way. He was determined, to get her. He
He
wanted
was.
he, you know, he he wanted to play with the chocolate pool, and he was fascinated by April, and she allowed herself to be swept up in his world. And I wanted to play out, like, what would that look like had I allowed their words to influence me, or if I allowed, you know their world, because it's a world that I am not accustomed to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what wealth like that feels like. I've been around it because of my position, but to be able to have it at your fingertips, and
Right.
like, it opened up a whole new world. Like, I've sat in rooms and at tables that, like, the girl from Buffalo, New York, the east side at that, growing up in the hood, most people I would have never thought I'd achieve those accomplishments. But having done it, and I was just like, this how y'all live? Your wife is okay with you doing this? What's going on? Huh? Like, did you
Mm-hmm.
just say that about me in front of your wife? Like, what
And
is
they don't even care.
no? Because, and it was explained to me that um I got what I wanted from him. Because someone said, you're a little
You said that in the book. It was a sentence you said in the
Mm-hmm.
book that
Mm-hmm.
white women are told to marry them. They're raised to marry the man, have the 2.5 children, and do what a wife is supposed to do. That's it.
that is
Mm-hmm.
it, and I didn't want to stereotype them that way, but in my
Yeah.
conversations with some of the wives, they were like, girl, it's okay. I know he cheats. I know there's a
Yeah.
difference.
They know it.
As long as I don't have to be in her presence, he doesn't flaunt it. They were well aware of some of the activities that their husbands were engaged,
Hmm.
but they got the ring. They had the money, they have the last name. So
Yep.
what else was there for them to achieve? And I'm sitting here as a black person, like, oh, if this motherfucker cheat on me, like,
Right.
I'm taking him to the bank. Like,
Hmm.
for everything he owned, I'm gonna have a license plate that says I took it. Um, but my counterpart is telling me, no, sis, this is a different ball game, because we're not talking about, he's a thousandaire. We're talking about multimillionaires.
Multi-millionaires.
There is
That
there
man had a yacht, a
a
huge yacht.
yacht,
A yacht.
a yacht,
Not a little boat, not a little sailboat, not a little putt. A yacht.
magnificent.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
think about that. So it was
Hmm.
it was quite eye opening for me to be able to witness how the other side plays. Like,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, hey, I didn't do it, but I could see how it could be done, and I wanted to play on
Mm-hmm.
that in the proposal series.
I,
Oh my
I loved
goodness.
it. Now, what caught me off guard with this, and I was like, okay, I had to read back to it. So, what made you decide to make the main male character, an older gentleman? Because I think he said he's about to turn 60.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Um, because most of the heads of big businesses are older white men. So when I'm in that room, so I'll give you a story.
Okay.
Um, this was my brick. This is my brick. So I was I took my boss and three other white men. They were my partners at the bank. I took them on a business call. I was closing a $10 million deal, right? And I was like, I need all the big shots with me, and I'm excited. And I walk in and I'm dressed like I normally dress. This man, older man, who I had looked to him like almost like a father figure, because in our conversations, he was schooling me on big business.
Right.
Like, so not only am I, giving him my knowledge, but he's giving me some inside track to his industry. That is
Mm-hmm.
important for me, because if I want to move in this industry, the more I know, the more I grow, right? And because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not commission based, but my bonuses, I like my bonuses. So I am in this very important meeting. We are closing a $10 million deal. He says to me, I love the way that dress hugs your curves. In the middle of my presentation. So my boss then looks at me, and the other three white men look at me, right? And I was like, and I continue with the presentation. In the middle of continuing, he said, you know what? Every time you come in here, you take my breath away.
Damn,
So
Daddy,
now
shut
wait a
up.
minute. So mind you, I'm looking at him because I'm like, what is you, like 65?
Right.
And in my mind, like hood AA is
Mm-hmm.
like, nigga, I will rock your world and kill you.
That's why I said, damn, Daddy,
That's where I
shut
was
up.
at. But
You know what I'm saying? Like,
professionally,
yes.
I was like, really? Really? Is that what we're gonna do today? So I continue, and he said, I've given you two compliments and you've ignored me. I'm offended. And I stopped and I said, you're offended? I'm offended because I'm a Black woman in a predominantly white male industry.
Mm-hmm.
I have come here with my A game, and you have chosen to reduce me to a sexual object in front of my
Mm-hmm.
class. I said, we're talking $10 million, and all you can think about is how your eyes keep roving up my thighs. I said, you are offended. I'm offended. I said, I'm
Mm-hmm.
offended because I know your wife. I've had dinner
Mm-hmm.
at your house. I know your children and your grandchildren, and you want to sit up here and tell me how sexy I am, and all I need from you is a signature. I said, we have been doing business like for several years now, and this is how you decide to come at me in front of peers. I said, so now they're looking at me like, am I capable of handling myself? You interrupted my
Mm-hmm.
presentation to tell me how much you're attracted to me. Who really should be offended? So at that point, because my boss was getting uncomfortable, I said, now we can either close this deal or I can leave. Which one you want to do? So
He
he allowed
closed
me
that
to
deal.
leave. So we left, and my boss was like, how often does that happen to you? I said, more often than I want to admit, and I choose to ignore it. He was like, I don't like for you going out on business deals by yourself. I said, but then that takes away from my competency. I said, I am
Mm-hmm.
more than capable of handling myself. So when I say 60-year-old men, the older the male, the more audacity they have.
You ain't
Mm-hmm.
never lied. You
I
ain't never lied.
disagree. Like how, like when he showed up on her vacation, I was like, the audacity of him.
Would not even asking her ahead of time or nothing. No, I'm gonna tell you what I felt he first had the audacity when he described the white woman compared to a black woman.
Girl.
I said he don't care, and but you married her. They just flat. I said, oh, okay, but
But
yeah, that right there. Mm-hmm.
I was I had, like I said, I had been around white men so much. I heard them talk about their wives, and I was like, but that's what you're attracted to. He was like,
You
that's all we
attracted to
know.
it. You married it.
That's all we know. They was like, we were never taught how to commingle with other races.
Yep,
So
that is true.
we were
Mm-hmm.
taught like this is what you do. And for the most part, without being arranged, the men
Mm-hmm.
are somewhat arranged because it's by the wealth. It's by
Right,
powerful people tend to
because
marry
both of them
powerful
came from
people.
money.
Yes. So
Mm-hmm.
sort of arranged, and they don't look outside of those arrangements because that would be going against the family. There was so much to dive into, but 60, he's 60, and here he is for the first time around a black woman who isn't in a servitude type like role. She's not a maid, she's not a cook, you know,
Yep.
she doesn't work in the
She's
garden.
smart. She's
Yes,
beautiful.
yes.
I mean, like, and he said all that, and just like he was enamored. Like he was, I mean, like when I say he came in and it was like it was nobody else there but her.
Mm-hmm.
And like you can tell it's like I was like, yeah, I can see him probably wanting to leave his wife for this one. He's like he's probably like Darcy, I'm out. I mean,
Listen,
I would want to leave Darcy too. First of all, her name.
but look, I
Then
want to ask this question though
Go
too. I want to
ahead.
get into this. So, but now that Crystal brought up Darcy, did Darcy care about Brick as much as he cared for her?
No.
I
And
can tell.
in book two, we get to see that. So
He
back
said no.
to how they married. Like he's in love with his wife, and
He really is.
the
He
fact
I can
that
say that.
he
He
kind of
is.
encouraged this activity. I'm not. You giving me two children. I don't want to have sex with you anymore.
Yep.
Like you go out and you do you, which is how he sort of ended up being in the BDSM world, is because he went looking for what he couldn't get at home. So
Right.
I feel like that's a disconnect right there, because the first part of marriage is being intimate. And
Mm-hmm.
got what she wanted from him, she was done. Not just with the sex, but even in the intimacy in their conversations. She's never home. Her daughters are grown now.
Yes.
He's spending time outside the home. Like he's mentioned even going home to an empty house at times because she was
Yeah,
so
that was
preoccupied with
girl.
her image and
That was
I
showing
don't
up.
know
chapter
how you let
one.
your man go on a 2 week vacation and you
It's
don't
not
ask him.
fair.
I mean, a 2 week, a two not vacation, a 2 week uh business trip. You didn't ask him where he was going, how long he was going to be gone, but you only call him and ask him for money.
The way I would have shanked Daryl Lewis. Like
Not shank them.
shank. He would have had
Oh,
a rusty
okay. So
butternut.
Daryl, no,
Listen,
Daryl,
rusty
listen to me.
butternut
No
jeans.
business trips.
He was going down. What
Yeah.
that part, because you get to understand like the dynamics of their relationship. At this
Right.
at this point, it's transactional.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that's all and he alludes to it. The only time she's ever gonna call is if she needs something.
If she needs
Girl,
something,
Like
that's
let
what
me
she
tell you
did.
something.
be in
He
an
said that in
amount that
chapter
she
one.
can't get on her own. You know what
Yep.
I mean? So like, how much was she really asking for? And it wasn't even about, what do you need it for? It was just like, oh, that's the only time she calls.
Yep.
Yeah, he made that very clear in chapter
Hmm.
one because he
She
was like he
just,
didn't want to retire because he was like if I gotta retire and go home to this mundane, he was
yep.
like love making and this he was like I ain't trying to be 60 and then 6 months later he was like retired 6 months later he died of a heart attack.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's sad, but it is now one thing he did say that I kind of didn't like, but then I was so glad that April was the first black woman, is that he only dealt with women, he dominated women that was lower than him. So like, and giving them, being able to put them at a place that they want to be at. So I'm like, okay, April going to benefit off of this. Like she said that she, didn't grow up being able to have everything she wanted. Her mother tried to give it to her, but she didn't get everything she wanted. So I feel like now she's going to get a chance. She's worked hard to get it. Granted, you got to go ahead and give up but that's fine. Cause if you're going to put millions, if you're going to put $1 million in my bank account, by all means.
Okay, first of all, he bought her a house. He bought her a whole new house.
Girl.
Like
Yep.
I was just like, who is doing that?
Yep.
And the fact, like his attention to detail, he was so
Yes.
obsessed with her that he took
Mm-hmm.
time to figure out what her needs were before she could even like say it. She could even
And that's
Be vocal
like,
about it. And I was just like, we're missing the parts where like he's looking for the challenge. Like, yes, he's dated or he's dominated women who were,
hmm
but it was white women, and we have to consider what does that look like, because you could be an educated white woman but
yep,
not be wealthy.
right. That's true.
So like, and to move them up to a statute where I think he said where they were marriage material for a
What?
rich
Yep.
man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, who
hmm
wouldn't want that, right? But here you have April, and he said, by looking at her, I know she's educated and she has class, and she's not as wealthy as she would have people think. Now, as
Yep.
black women, when we black women, we black women. You don't know
We
what
black
Mhm.
women, we gonna put on airs like we got money out of our pocket, but I guess what, this designer from last year. Oh, I got this from the consignment shop. So yeah.
when we black women, we black women. It's
Yep.
how we put it together. How
Mm,
and how you take it is how you take it. So he's
right.
reading her right. And he was just like with a little bit more refinement,
hmm
be exactly who she wants to be. Like he saw her in that moment, like that first day in the bank. He saw her. When first of all, he smelled her. Because
That's what I was about to say. He smelt her. Yeah, he definitely did.
so it was one of those things where I was just like, she's a challenge for him. One, because he's never dated a black woman.
hmm
There was so much more. She already had what he had been giving to other women.
Yep.
He was just going to elevate that just a little bit, and in turn wound up falling in love.
Isn't that cute?
Mm.
I felt like, to be honest, I felt like he was in love from when he first saw her.
Mesmerized.
Mhm.
He was, I
Mhm.
mean, mesmerized. Like he
From the
saw
day he
nothing else.
saw
He
her.
couldn't focus.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this side of Michigan. I most people think I live closer to Detroit, and I don't.
Right.
I am I am Grand Rapids, Chicago. I'm in between
Okay,
those,
you up in that area. Right. Okay.
like, and in this area, one first thing that I noticed moving into this area was the amount of interracial couples, right?
hmm
So,
Mhm.
and not what people think. Yeah, you get the black man with the white woman and other races, but I see a lot of sisters out here doing it. And when I see the way these men look at them, like
Mhm.
total mesmerized. I know
Yes.
sister, she was an Amazon goddess, and her husband was about my height, and I'm 5'4", so he might have been 5'5". This Amazon beauty and the way he told it after her, I was just like, go ahead, sister. Because that man got the bags and he is just like puppy dogging behind you. And
Oh,
he smiled at me. He was like, how you doing? I was like, no, how you doing? Like, because I
right.
knew she done put
Because
it
I
on
can
me.
only imagine.
Like, I already know. I know why you with her. She put it on you. Like,
hmm
Mhm.
she put it on me because I was like, damn, she's fine. But then I saw you behind her. It's a lot of that, and you see that in the way they look at each other. And I'm not saying that my black brothers don't look at us like that. What I'm saying is to be smitten and mesmerized.
Is mesmerized. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is the
That's
perfect word because that's
different.
how he was.
Yes,
He was
it's
mesmerized.
and when our brothers give it to us, because for me there's a level of expectation, like you better be memorized by me, but to see it play out in somebody else's, a different race, how they react to that type of admiration for us is
Right.
it's up, it's weird, it's loving,
Mhm.
it's strange,
hmm
and more acceptable than what people think. Because once you move out of your comfort zone, like I said, when we moved over into this area of Michigan, I had never really seen anything like that. I had not interracial relationships on this level. And it's not just my white males who are into black women. I've seen Asian, Hispanic, like I
Mhm.
hmm
the whole gamut play out in Myers, the grocery store, nonetheless. And I'll be sitting there like this, like where y'all find each other? Like this, and he
Listen.
just, and they all just be behind us, like, oh my God. Not me.
They look, they hate to see you leave, but they love to watch you go.
Listen,
I be like, what is going on here in the water in Michigan?
now
Right.
listen, and I would say this. I want you to go into this too because before we hopped on, you said something about April, how she was in this book versus the next book.
Yes.
Because you said, you mentioned how we look the Amazon put it on, and now we know April put it on Brick.
Listen, so
So,
in book one, um, Rick is the dom. He's the
He
dominant.
definitely is. Yes.
He and April is his submissive. And we get to watch their relationship play out not just in business, but behind the scenes in his,
Mm-hmm.
his room, his service room. Um, in book two, The Banker, which will be coming out mid-February.
Good. Okay,
April.
good.
April is now the
The
dominant.
Dom.
Yes. So we get to see her play out um what she's learned from Brick, but also explore her sexuality. And I want to say she didn't explore it, she claimed it, which is
Right.
so powerful for Black women because so many times we don't dare push ourselves sexually. Like we'll push ourselves in our careers, we'll push ourselves in being, whatever our passion is. But when it comes to sex, sometimes we're always looking for the male to lead. And
Mm-mm.
April said,
If you ain't doing it right, I'm gonna tell you.
but even going further than just telling you that you're not doing
Uh,
it right, like she's gone deep into to the BDSM world, and her interactions with her clients, like they play out. And I
yes.
thought,
mm,
like, I teetered around it in book one, but I wanted April to have all the fun and discover herself in the process, all while trying to manage her professional life and the drama that happened in book one, how that kind of
Right.
plays out in book two for her. Because I left
okay.
with the cliffhanger with her and Darcy, meeting and catching up again. And here it comes full circle in book two, but it also it goes even further because in book three, the sub, like
Mm-hmm.
once we get there, you're like, what the hell is going on, AA? Because this some kinky ass shit. Now,
Oh, I can't wait. I
listen,
can't wait.
because every book I want to go deeper and darker into the world of BDSM, and I want to.
And that was one of my questions. How extensive was your research in the BDSM world?
So let's just say this: everything that is mentioned in the book, I have played with. Like I have a collection now. Um,
Personal research.
I have
Personal
personal
research.
research because
That's, I mean, no offense. That's how you know it's right. Like, so I get that. Go ahead. I get that.
so what happened in book one? I had a white dom reach out to
Right.
me. He was like, "You really need to push it." He was like, "You need to push the envelope." He was like, "I saw your book trailer, and I really wanted more." And I was like, "Well, it's a progression because I am now entering into the BDSM world. Like, in order for me to get this right, I need to. It's baby steps to this. Like, I
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
immerse myself.
Mhm.
I said, I want my female character to have the experience. So when I get there, like I know how to be submissive in the bedroom, right? How do I be dominant? Like, and I want to be
Mhm.
dominant and I want to claim that sexuality. Like, I need to now play with these tools. So if I named
Mhm.
it, I went and bought it. I
Okay.
said, hey, spank me with this. I need to know how it feels. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, like we're gonna do something. So it was fun and educational.
Look,
I learned a lot
D
about
gonna pick it up.
myself. But
Look,
it
D gonna pick it up. Like, what you talking about?
listen, D. Lewis gonna read this and be like, "Oh, so you just out here telling the world?" No, what I'm
Telling the world. Tell them it's okay. It's okay. We understand. It's
no,
research.
but in order to really hone in on the BDSM world. Like I could watch porn all day long and
It still ain't gonna touch it.
still never understand how it felt.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was just like,
Hmm.
for shits and giggles and all the sophisticated ratchetness, let's do it. So we did it. And it was me trying to experience what her submissives would be going through. And so much so that when the book does come out, ladies, you're going to receive your very own gift box full of everything in the BDSM starter kit, along with some other surprises. So it's coming. Don't listen. I was hopeful that the banker would be out by now, but I was ill. I had to take a step back. I didn't get to the edits with the editor. Like, so when it comes out, there are gonna be some boxes. And
Oh, I'm telling you, I said I needed a brick, so maybe I need. Oh, maybe I might be finding a brick soon.
listen, have fun with the boxes when they come. Open up, do what you want. But when I tell you, like a lot of thought went into making sure, like if I'm gonna talk about BDSM, I need to know these different tools that are used,
Yes, I love that. I love
and
that.
like what's glass versus metal, like leather versus the
Mm-hmm.
vinyl. I want to know what all of that feels like, and I wanted to give some truth to her. So when I say April reclaimed her sexuality, I took this journey with her so that I could make sure that, again, if this white dom decides to pick up the banker, he would be proud of the way the evolution into, that world evolved for these characters. So yeah.
Yes,
I,
yes.
I
Well,
feel
I
like
am.
I'm gonna just say this, and then I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna put this out there, and whoever does it, just know I will be there. But I've been to both of Miss House's events, and I tell you, I love them. But because we have so many authors tap into this BDSM, I feel like we need to have a BDSM event.
You know, um, author Cassandra Charles, um, her book Joyride took you took you down a rabbit
It
hole, and
sure did. I
now
got that book.
she's done some sex um expos
Hmm.
and learned a lot. And she even said we should probably do something like this with everyone who's done an erotic. Like
Yes, I
we need
definitely
we
agree.
need an
I
erotic
definitely agree.
expo for
And we
Black
do. I
authors.
definitely agree. I mean, I'm always filthy talking. So that's my first book, an erotic book.
Yes.
You know what? I, as much as I like my ratchetness, like I love good sex. I love good sex.
Right. That part.
Right.
And like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when I said April was gonna do some things, I made April do some things.
That's
And
what I'm talking about.
to see her get excited about the level of pain and pleasure she was doing on these men. Like
Mm.
we was laughing because Untamed and I was reading as we were coming on, and she was getting ready to bring me into the room, and D walked in and he was like, "Oh Lord." He was like, "They gonna allow you to read that?" Because he has no idea. He has no idea. And he was like, they just gonna allow you to read that. And I was like, I don't think we regulate it. I hope it's all right. It's the
Oh well, as long as when I put it on YouTube, I say
Listen.
this is not for kids. I do
no,
put not.
Right.
it,
I
and it's
put
not
not for
for the faint of
kids.
heart. It's not for the faint of
Mm-mm.
heart because
Listen.
there is
And
nothing wrong with sex. And
It
that's
really isn't.
nothing.
my part where I think people that we all got here by somebody humping somebody, right?
That part.
So
Somebody
there's
had to
Hmm.
help
nothing
along
we
this
can take
It
journey.
might have been dry. It might have been wet, but it was a hump.
it, it- and it could have been 5 minutes or two. It don't matter. It
Or
has
5 hours.
or 5 hours. I always go back to the point where I think it's supposed to be pleasurable.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like there's some enjoyment that should come from our sexual relationships. And I love, as a Black woman in this day and age in 2024, like we could talk openly about sex and it be okay and it's not taboo. Um,
Mm-hmm.
be dominant. We can tell you, listen, if it curves like that and you got to hit it like this, or this is the best position to
Exactly.
hit me off, or, I don't want you to do this. I'd rather you do this tonight. It's okay for us to be
And
vocal
if I
about
don't want you to do
how,
nothing, I'm gonna go ahead and back it up.
listen, you ain't got to do nothing because the roles will do it for me right now.
We'll
Like,
do it.
Okay, and
Yep.
that part.
so many things for us to be satisfied, and yet we
Right.
choose a male partner or a female partner or a partner, put it like this. The
Or
thing,
two partners.
or two
Or,
partners.
or
Listen, it's
more.
okay for us to
Mm-hmm.
be sexual beings. And that's
Right.
where I think some people, like, they miss that this is
Mhm.
to each his own. So what may work for me may not work for you, and and we need to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And you know what? That's a perfect segue because I want you to have some time to go ahead and read your snippet that D was like, is you gonna be able to read this? Because yeah, we want to get into this and we want to let the people know exactly what they're getting. So I'm going to give you the floor,
Thank
and
you.
then after the snippet, we'll round it out so that you can give the readers and the listeners, your information, when your books will be released and where they can find it. All the things, all the things. It'll be your time to shine. But
Will do.
you
Will
have
do.
the floor.
Well, this is from the upcoming book, The Banker, which will be out mid-February. It's the second book in the proposal series, and it's all about the evolution of April and, like I said,
I like that.
managing her career and discovering who she is as a sexual being. So
Right.
this is a snippet. I do my best. Um, so, get down on all fours, I instructed. I watched as he eagerly obeyed. I graced his white flesh with my custom wooden paddle and was turned on by the way he bucked when the wood met his skin. He grunted, which brought me joy. I smacked him several times as his now reddish skin became agitated by my aggressive pounding. Matthew maintained his cool, barely wincing. He didn't require the assistance of the gag ball. The challenge was remaining quiet during our sessions and remaining disciplined. It excited him. It almost became a game for us. He always requested I test his limits to see if I could get him to break. For the amount of money he was paying me, I was more than willing to play along. I placed the vibrating penis ring on his stiff shaft and prepped him with the warm lubricant for what was to come next. My glass anal bead slowly went in and out of his anus as the vibrator tightened around his cock. With each pull and push, Matthew shook with pleasure. I spanked him occasionally to send him over the top. He fought like hell to resist making a sound until finally he gasped and screamed out in pleasure. That was strike one against him. I always allowed two strikes based on the kinky level of the submissive. But for Matthew, he had broken his own rule, which meant he owed me. He knew the moment he cried out that I was going to claim my reward and punish him at the same time. I removed the anal beads and the penis ring. I took my seat at the head of the bed, pulling on his chained collar. I led him to my open legs. I commanded him to unsnap my bodysuit. He did as he was told. Now, Matthew, you've been a naughty vocal boy. You know there's no talking in the room except by me. I hate to stop the fun, but you owe me. You owe me now. I purred seductively, pulling the chain harder, dragging him closer to my open legs. Don't Stop until I tell you to, I demanded, thrusting myself into his face. Matthew went to work as he licked and sucked my fragile flower. His tongue swirled in and out of my watering hole, causing me to explode over and over and over again. He drank my juices like an expensive shot of Macallan 25. He kept going, sending me into shivering episodes of ecstasy. I had to adjust my position because tapping out was not an option. I switched positions to squat over his face, lowering myself onto his lips as my wet folds smothered him. He dove right in again as I rocked back and forth. His nose tickled my clit as his tongue caressed my inner walls. Hold my waist, I instructed as he gasped for air between my grinding on his face. The rhythm of his tongue lashing and and the combination of my steady rocking caused all the tension and stress from my rough week at work to come gushing out, landing all over Matthew's pale shaven face. Damn it, I yelled as I dismounted his face, escaping his flickering tongue. One thing that he did exceptionally well that almost made me forget that I was supposed to be in charge. He just lay there smiling, exhausted, but satisfied.
Shit, I'll be mad.
I love it.
I can't stand him.
That was right
That
on
was
time.
the cherry on top.
I didn't even see
Right.
him come in the room.
Oh my, and what you want to know what? It's so funny because I know he comes in when you interview, and I was like, where is he at? I didn't see him. He hid real good, but that was right
Listen,
on time.
he
So
hit
you're
that
gonna narrate her
right.
part, right?
No, I don't do narration anymore.
No, I'm sorry. After the way you
Why?
just read it, you have to do it.
I will try.
You did
Um,
so good.
You did.
be,
You
but
heard
So
what D said. He said
I
she
need
should
to
be Matthew.
I need to know when all of these audiobooks is dropping because
You know,
well,
that's what I need to know.
the banker is already on audio,
Okay.
so that one I love
you
that.
the bank or the
I mean
Dom.
the dime is already on
Okay,
audio. The banker. The sad thing is, I don't. I'd have to see. I'd have to see if I could pull this off. Um, but good night, sweetheart. Sorry guys. But
Oh,
I,
you're
if
fine.
I could, if I think I can do it, then I'll do it.
I
But
think you can.
I, I was so excited, like the level of kinkiness that happens with
Listen,
her.
if you I, while you were reading, I wish you could have seen our faces. We was all in the camera like,
I'm like,
Well, listen,
mm,
I
okay.
was like,
I, like I said, I love that she comes into her own,
She
and
definitely did.
the fact that like
yeah, she better make me come into my own. I'm like, well, wait a minute.
listen, you are getting some of these in your gift packet that comes. Um,
And it's so funny because when you said the glass anal beads, I was like, yeah, know about them too. Yeah, mm-hmm.
I um I'm a very sexual person. And I'm okay with that. Uh
Yes,
Exploring some of these, I was just like pushes me to my boundary. Others, I was just like, oh, I remember what being 25 was like.
Right.
I was like, I
yeah, that's
remember
true.
being 25. Like, because when you're young, you're more adventurous. But
Right.
again, when like we've been married 25 years, so you got to keep the spice going. So, uh,
Right.
this book is going to do that for you. If you're a woman and you're trying to figure out, like I said, the BDSM uh starter kit packet that comes with both books Like we got her signature red lipstick that she wears. She wears a mask, a lace mask. I
Mhm.
included all of that because I wanted you to get into your character. It was
I know
designed
that's
like even if you
right.
don't do nothing but touch it and play with it, like just hold it. If you put the mask in, I think red lipstick on all women. Like we instantly
Mhm.
become our own Sasha Fierce, right? And I wanted
Mhm.
that for us. I wanted, the reader to pick this up. And if you don't do nothing, but put the mask and lipstick on, like it instantly relaxes you and gives you the it's okay to
Mhm.
embrace wherever this sexual journey takes you. So
Right.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes. Oh my gosh, I
that was
cannot wait.
so good. I can't wait. Yeah, I definitely
I
can't wait.
cannot. I cannot wait. So, I am going to give you the opportunity to let everyone know, like, how they can contact you, where they can get your books, and anything else that you have upcoming that you want us to know about.
sure. Well, my socials first. I am on IG at A_A_Lewis 716. Facebook author A Lewis. In Not Instagram, TikTok. A Lewis 716. And my website is aalewis .net. So, and you can purchase all the books off of there as well as Amazon because I do have an Amazon um, author page. So I'm on Amazon. Most of my catalog is on audiobooks. So if you're into
Mhm.
audiobooks, by all means do that. This, like I said, is the year of polish. So I am working with a new editor to again elevate the experience. And with that being said, some of my older work is currently being re-edited and going to be re-released because through, like we talked about AI earlier, some of
Mhm.
my book covers will look a little different. So I love that. Some of my
You changing the mill?
no, I'm not changing the meal. I'm not changing
Okay,
the
because I'm about to say that cover
no,
is bomb.
no, I'm not changing. Then there was nothing wrong with Veronica's cover.
Yeah,
So
nothing wrong
No.
with Veronica's book. Not at
That
uh,
all.
was a
Nope.
gorgeous cover.
It sure
Mhm.
was.
but some of my earlier work, I'm redoing that. But since you brought up Veronica, um, her son
Yes.
will have his say the end of March. So I'm so
Yeah.
looking forward to this book because even as I read it, I'm like, oh my God. The like Veronica lives on through her son. And
The son
um
of a bitch.
the son, the son of a bitch is coming out the end of March. So I'm looking
I
forward to
love it.
um, but and then Bray, end of this year, our end of the year celebration, November 1st through the 5th, and then hopefully we'll be able to announce the timetable for the book expo by then. So excited. You will see me somewhere everywhere this year. I think my first stop is San Antonio next month. In the
Ooh.
San Antonio Black Author Expo. Of course, I'll be at the Gem Awards in May, June. Detroit Hustle and Grind in Chicago with Miss Jessica Watkins for her event in August, as well as um, the Me Time Book Group. So I will be down in Alabama in, I believe,
That's
April.
Untamed Spot right there. She loves to go there. You going there this year?
Mhm.
I am going
I
there this year.
I man, I probably will. I got. I'm being late, but I I'm here to these places. I was being late to the party this year because I had a few things that was I had to get out the door, but I got to get my life together so I get the schedule right.
I I am determined not to allow this illness to keep me from being the best me I can be. And I feel like when I'm around all of you, um,
Mhm.
I can give my best.
Yes.
If I stay at home, I allow my illnesses to have more control than they should. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to get out. I need to be out and about and doing things. So that's the goal.
We
And Dee will be right there with me. So I look forward
Yay. I
Yes,
we look
I love
forward
it.
to it too as well. And I look, I'm sitting here. I was so enthralled today that I was remiss on some of the things that I was supposed to be doing. As you see the ticker going by, but I want to show this right quick. This is the book, The Dom by A.A. Lewis, the first book of the series, you guys. This is the one that we discussed tonight, and this is The Banker. This is the second book in the series in which she read that sizzling snippet from for us. So make sure that you be on the lookout for The Banker. Go and cop The Dom, but those are the books. So I did get it in.
You
No,
did get it
listen,
in.
thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. No, ladies, it has been a pleasure. I so look forward to catching up with you, and I just love everything that you do. Like Untamed,
The
from
Oh,
music
same to you.
to music
Yes.
thank
to
you.
podcast, you are what we're all achieving to get to. So your career
Oh,
is just one of those where it's like a bookmark staple for us.
Mm-hmm.
This
She
is this
definitely
this
is.
is what you're trying to do. This is what you need to, this is who you need to be looking at. And
thank
Crystal, I cannot
you.
wait to start supporting you because I'm gonna do that interview with you and your books. Then I'm gonna do that interview. Forget
I know that.
Untamed. She already know you. No, 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 no. I'm gonna do that
Listen,
interview.
I am all for it. I
So
listen. I will gladly. I'll be here. But I would love for you to come on, be the guest host that day and lead the charge. I would love it.
I am here. Let me know how I can help because I love I you listen, I sincerely mean this. Love every single author I've come across. Like
Yes.
Yes.
I I
I
have
can agree with
nothing
that
but
too.
love for this community, and believe it or not, like I tell everybody, if your book is in my Kindle or on my bookshelf, and I have 7, 8 bookshelves full of books, um, I'm a
I'm
fan.
flipping then.
For life.
Hmm.
I I was Untamed. Like we was family in my mind before I met you. Like I was like, nope, got a book. We're cousins.
It's funny because the first time I met Untamed in person is the first time I met you too at the kickback. Because you was the very last person I saw before I walked out the door. Because you,
And you
you
said,
had this, yeah,
and
yes, yeah, y'all two had the perfect
I
spot.
found that photo. And it was I
Yes,
was like, that's her. I knew I had a photo of her. Listen, I adopt so many family members, and I love that because I'm in a place where family isn't just blood, it's who I want
nope.
to
Hmm.
be.
Who you wanted to be? Yep,
and
that is
and
so true.
that's my safe space, is that if I can call you family, then there's a level of respect and admiration that I
Yes,
have for you.
yes.
Yes.
And that's exactly how I see you ladies. Like sometimes you're my cousin,
Oh,
sometimes
thank
you're my
you.
Mm.
like,
Yes, we
and I
cousins,
know that.
cousins.
So
Yes, we
I know
are.
that's right. Because I always I say that all the time. I was like, yeah, it's especially for black women. I
Yeah.
was not. I did not have a sister growing up, but the Lord has blessed me with so many sisters in this industry who I've met, on this journey in one way or another, who have been a pivotal part of my journey, of my
mhm.
upliftment, of my enlightenment. And my
Hmm.
goal is to always be that light to them that they have been to me.
She
And
is. I can attest to that. She definitely is. We talk every day.
but but that
Every day.
but that's what you want. So
Hmm.
I too don't I didn't have a sister until late in life.
Right.
But I live in a space where, first of all, life is too short.
And it
I
definitely is.
I choose to shine my light with a purpose. And
Hmm.
it takes too much energy for me to be negative, and Lord knows with my body it don't always want me to be great. So for me to be
good Lord.
fostering ill intentions toward anybody like makes no
Right.
sense to me. And
Mhm.
I sincerely like love my family. and I'm talking about the family I've created.
Rated. Yeah,
Mhm.
Because
that is so true.
even if I don't talk to you for 3 months, when we do talk, it's like we ain't missed a beat. I can
I
talk to
have
you
friends like that. Mm-hmm.
and there's authors I talk to every day. There's some I talk to once a year, but I feel like I've known you my whole life, and that's the
Yep.
beauty of
Mhm.
this community, especially around the sisterhood piece. And I'm not saying we perfect. What I'm saying is it's a beautiful, functioning, dysfunctional family. And I love
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that because year after year we keep seeing each other. We keep
Right.
smiling. Like we
Yep.
keep supporting each other, buying books and sharing information and watching each other grow. But and we can still clap for each other and it's okay.
Right.
And that's the part
Yep.
that
Right.
a lot of times we don't get a chance to see or celebrate that. So being
That's
on
so
Mhm.
the
true.
show gives me a chance to celebrate you ladies the way that you celebrate all of us. So thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank
Thank
you. Yes,
you.
I love this. Like I feel like Books of Soul is kind of like going down because I didn't think I was gonna like writing as much as I like writing, and then doing the podcast are like the two most. Ugh, I love it. Like I'd rather do that than anything else. If I could just do this all day long, I'm here for it. Right now, that's what I am
Listen.
doing all day long. Nothing
Yeah.
else.
But this is the beautiful part of this. You have figured out what you're really passionate about. And
Yes.
then there are
Mhm.
still people who can't either own their passion because they're too scared to jump out on faith and
Hmm.
give it to the universe and say, this is who I want to be and be okay live being in that space without somebody without feeling like somebody's gonna have something negative to say about this because we 2024, we too damn grown to be caring what other people
Oh,
think.
20.
Mhm.
So
I've been saying this since I was able to
Listen.
talk. I don't give a rat's ass what anybody think about me.
I
Never
have
have, never will.
I have no fucks to give. I have none.
That too.
Right.
None. None.
That
Zero.
too.
None.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Zero.
COVID took it all from me. Like if I had
Yep.
a fuck, COVID took it. And listen, I had no fucks to
Listen.
give. Not a
Mm-hmm.
one. But I
None.
have a whole lot of love to give.
Mhm.
Yes.
You want to
Mhm.
Yes.
be on the receiving end of love, then I got that for you. I got that for
Yeah,
you.
and I'm about to say, if you getting love from me,
Mhm.
that mean I definitely love you because I don't love everybody.
Hmm.
I know that's right.
Everybody ain't meant to
That's
be loved either.
Yeah, I don't love
right.
everybody. Half the time, I don't even like some people.
Girl, listen,
So
and
if
I've
I'm
learned
giving
to
it
be
out,
okay with it. I've learned to
yep.
be okay with it. Like the one pastor said, he was like, "I don't know what happened to me during the pandemonium, but you got to find the nerve to get on with me." He's like, "I ain't gonna let none of y'all bother me no more. Ain't nothing
Yep.
bother me." He was like, I am good to go. I'm here to be a service to my parishioners, to my wife, and to my children, and you are not about to mess it up for me." I said, "I know
Nope.
that's
You
right.
sure not.
I know that's
Mm-hmm.
right. And I'm the
Listen,
same
even
way."
my granddaughter know now. When when she throw a BF a bitch fit, I be like, Gigi don't got two fucks to give about you and
Yeah,
and
right.
that right now.
I
Then
step
Right.
right over
listen,
you.
then
Step
she look
right
at me
over you.
like you really don't care. I'll be like, when you ready to
Mm-mm.
talk this out, you come see me. That little girl, she 3. She get up and she be like, Gigi, I just need a hug. Then you should just said, I need a hug.
Yeah,
I
Oh.
got all the love for you. But
Mm-mm-mm.
giving 2 cents about what just happened, baby girl, Gigi ain't got that time.
yeah, I know that's right. I know that's
Nope.
right. Get it together, get it together. Well, Crystal, give out your socials and how everyone can contact you.
Facebook, IG, TikTok. Books of Soul one is on IG, and the other ones is just Books of Soul. Because I got to go watch The Godfather of Harlem.
Okay. Well, listen, I've been
Because
trying
Bumpy
to get
Johnson's
in.
stressing me out.
I've been trying to get in a movie a day, for our get caught up and chill on Saturdays. But I got some. I got a few. But yeah, these movies have been moving. So, and I want to give
I
a
watched the
shout out
Christmas
real
movie last
quick.
night.
I want to give a good shout out to Brianna Cole, who I had the
Yes.
pleasure of co-writing some scripts with, and she wrote a script called The Marriage Past, which is based off of her book, The Marriage Past. It is on Tubi. It's a Tubi original,
It was
and it
good.
is a standard. It is a standard now for psychological thrillers. And I'm gonna say it now. It was such a good movie. Brianna, I'm so proud of you. She knows this. I have talked to her since, and she is just like so excited. So I want you guys to support her and support this movement
The
because
support
there
is
is
supporting. I
the
have seen
support is
people
support.
posting about it. Yes.
Yes, it is. It is a really good, and I ain't look.
It was
I'm not
good.
just saying that because I'm rooting for everybody black, but I am rooting for everybody black.
Okay, so no
But
Bumpy Johnson tonight, and then I'll go ahead and look at that. So Bumpy
Let,
can wait.
let me just say something about her movie. My oldest son was here and he was watching it with me because he was like, "What is this? This is a Tubi movie. I heard about these Tubi movies." And I was like, "Shut up. Listen, watch it." Was so invested by the end. He was just like, "They ain't have to do my man's like that. I know what he did to her, but they ain't have to do my man's like that." He
listen,
was up in arms and went and told the other son, his brother, and they had a whole conversation about the movie. If you can capture his attention,
Yeah.
it it
let
was
me
good.
say, I told her I said my husband is a movie buff and he's a TV buff and he's a movie buff and he loves his movie. Now he's gonna be honest with you, about what it is and what it ain't. And by the time we got to the end of that movie, he was like, "Oh, this is good." He was asking all kind of questions. Like his reactions was priceless, and I was like, when, and I will say this too, for our men, it takes, especially when it's not just an action movie or something like that.
Right.
It takes sometimes a lot for them to really kind of get into it and enjoy it. So
Hmm.
when you're capturing men and women and they're all captivated by, you got something golden,
It
and
was
this was
well
gold.
done.
It was
Hmm.
very well done. It was very well executed. Kudos to everybody on the production team. Kudos to all the actors and actresses. But most of all, kudos for Brianna because she wrote this full script and revetted this script by herself.
Yeah.
And I am just, I can't even tell you like how proud I am of her for this. So y'all, please make sure you support her. Look, I forgot to give out my doggone socials. I just look this. That's look. Y'all can find me as Author A.A. on all of these social media pages. And let me, but if you want me to respond, if you want me to
Right.
respond, you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Because yeah, I might got the other ones, but I don't be on there. Not hardly. I don't even lie to you. I won't even tell no tell. I don't be there. So. So yes, if you trying to reach me on Twitter, you will gonna never respond because I am never on Twitter. Now, I'm not
Never.
even on Threads. Don't even try
Oh,
it. Don't
look,
try.
I'm on thread. Said I was going to post more. I ain't do no. All I be posting. I need to do better. I'm gonna do better.
I'm not even on Threads, but oh my goodness. So you guys, thank you so much. If you let me say this now, if you all have a book release that's coming out in February, well, whenever it's coming out, February, March, because you're doing this every month. Yeah. So
Every
at the
month.
top of the month, we always do a new book release episode. So the month of February is drawing near. So if you do have a book that's releasing in February, please send it over, DM it to Books and Soul One on Instagram with Crystal, so she can make sure that she has your book cover image and your synopsis and your release date. Because on the actual show, she reads the synopsis, and she talks a little bit about it. And lets the listeners know where they can find it. We put together a nice little video flyer that goes on the socials with just the covers, and we tag the authors. So everyone will know in a quick snapshot like what books are coming out that month. So please make sure that you submit that information over to her so she can have it in preparation for February. It comes out, it's the first Wednesday episode of every month. So make sure that you have that into her. And also
Even if
make
the
sure.
book come out before. So if your book come out
Mhm.
February the 1st and I don't do the show until like the 6th, I'm still going to announce it.
Exactly. So, and also make sure that you are following the Get Caught Up podcast on Instagram at Get Caught Up Podcast. We are also on TikTok and Get Caught Up Podcast and on YouTube and Get Caught Up Podcast. So make sure you subscribe there as well. And we have the Facebook group to Get Caught Up off the podcast. Make sure that you join the group so you can stay in the know. We like to have a little fun. We have discussions. So engagement and we share information there as well, not just the promotion. And also in the Facebook group, if you have a book coming out, you have an event, you have anything special that you want a book release, share it inside the group. You're more than welcome to do so. So please make sure you join the group, and that is another place where you can share. So because we need the readers to connect with you, and they're there. So make sure
Yeah.
that you're sharing there. Um, we also have commercial slots available. So if you would like a commercial, please let me know. Email us on the website. The new and improved Get Caught Up website is www.getcaughtup.card. That's CARRD.co. So Get Caught Up Podcast.card.co. You can submit an email to us through there. If you would like a commercial, we're also still looking for artists who would like to submit their music to play during our commercial breaks on the show. So you can email us a 20-second clip of your music and we will make sure that it airs so that you can get exposure. We're for all creators, okay? We doing
Yes, we
big
are.
things in 2024. Like we trying to get
Mhm.
everybody exposure in the movies and the music and the books, and we're doing everything that we can, narration and all. And also, we are on Spotify, Audible, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else. But you can subscribe to those channels if you would like, or follow those channels for the podcast so that you'll get alerted every time a new episode comes out. And I think that's it. Look, there was a whole lot. There was a whole lot of
Oh,
things.
also we're doing 14 days of love
Right,
in
right.
February. So
Yes.
starting February the 1st up until Valentine's Day, we will be doing a poem a day. Now, not well, we also going to write a poem, but we're also looking for poets. So if you have a poem, drop it at that email address, well, that site that she said, rewind it back and you'll hear it. But also going to the IG page and you can find out more information about it. But yeah,
Yes.
I'm even going to submit a poem about love
You
from me.
had me dig into my archives now.
Do it.
Yes,
I was just about to
please
I
say
like
do.
it.
poetry jams.
Yes, do
Please
it.
do
We're going to
it.
post a
Do it.
poem. Yes. Send it to us so we
So
can
we're
post you.
gonna, yeah, we're gonna post a different poem by a different author or poet.
Artist. Yep.
You know, every day for the first 14 days leading up to Valentine's Day. It'll be on all the socials, but it's about love, and we love poetry. Another, genre form of the arts that we love, that we want to celebrate. So if you have some poetry, please make sure you submit it. We're going to
Yes.
definitely showcase it in February. So we're excited about that too. I told you I thought that was all. It might be something else. But look, follow the social pages, because if I don't say it here, I definitely hit it on these pages. On these social
Yes.
pages, You'll see it one way or the other. So definitely make sure you follow there. But I just want to say I appreciate the listeners for tuning in all across, not just the U.S., but all of these 45 countries that are tuned in and listening. And trust me, they are, because they hit us up, asked us for interviews. Hey, I'm in London and I listen to your show and I would love to be
Mhm.
on there. Hey, I'm in Russia and I listen to your show and I would love to be on there. I'm in Nigeria. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I get, we get the DMs, we get the emails from all these different places. So
That's so
they are listening. These internationally, it be popping. Okay, it be popping on the international street. So
that's what's up.
definitely, I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. So, but this year is the year, like you said, of refinement, of polishing. We are up in our game. So that's why we have introduced YouTube channel, and The website. We have so many different facets because we want to broaden this for the entire community and for all of the artists. So definitely we want to make waves in here and listen. Our heart, if y'all want to come pick us up directly, we ain't gonna we not gonna turn you down, We y'all want to bring us into a studio, let us get a station. Hey, we'll do that too. Um, definitely, definitely, definitely. But we are also looking forward to Miss Tiara Cox, which will be the first interview in February, and also listen, Crystal, announce the book of the month because I would forget that.
Yeah, I know you probably did try to forget that. So join us, me, moi, Lisa from Tales Between the Sheets, and Mrs. Roney. Did you hear me say Mrs. Roney? I'm so excited for this as we interview none other than Miss Untamed, where we'll be discussing the View 1 and 2 next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live. So we're going to be on Facebook, IG, and YouTube because we about to Cat Williams her ass. That's it.
Said Cat Williams. They
Mm-hmm.
they coming with all the truth and the receipts.
Listen,
Listen,
Yeah,
and
because the lies will be exposed. Yeah, we about to Cat Williams her. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I can't even say nothing. I'm just gonna be there. Let somebody just send me some. I'm gonna be up there like Shannon Sharp was. I'm gonna have to keep pouring some cups of cognac because I ain't gonna be able to take it.
She ain't gonna be able to take it. We going in.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be on air after this.
Yes, because I got questions and she got to give up answers. Now, she has been nice because I get to call her because I sure did call. Like she said, I did fuss. Yeah, I used some very choice words and, wanted some folks to be unalived, wanted to drag some folks. Some folks I don't like no more. I did like them and now I don't like them. You know, it's, ooh, if y'all have not read The View 1 and 2, pick it up because the foolishness.
and if you're not sure if you read it, it was part of Bree.
It sure
Definitely.
was. It
So
sure was.
yeah,
But and if you did and you got it, go ahead and pick it up so you'll be ready because I'm telling you, we going in.
They
Like,
going in on me. They going in on me so hard, and ain't nobody safe. Not even me. So
I call her. Nope, not even her. Nope, and she my girl, but mm-mm.
I ain't even safe. But y'all look, y'all tune in to make sure I'm still you're the last
now
when
see,
they get
I might
Yep,
have to
might
I
have to
might have
take her
to
to the fold.
register in this conversation under my government name because I don't want you to get mad at me for my questions, but she never said that. See,
See,
I switch it on and off. I go under the government name real quick and be like, eh.
There you go.
oh my gosh,
So definitely,
mm.
definitely. But y'all, please tune in. We will be live, and I look. It's all in good fun. But Miss Miss Rona called me a right nasty scallywag, and I
And she
so
definitely is. I see why she called her that. I definitely see why.
I'm just gonna sit there and I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna take it, y'all. I'm gonna take
I'm
it.
gonna
I'm
go
gonna
ahead
try to
and look up the
defend her.
definition for it. So for people who don't know what a scallywag is, they'll know on that day.
I wanted to scroll across just like A. A. Lewis is scrolling across. I want you to
Right
put that.
nasty
I
scallywag.
want you to put untamed. That's what you is.
That's what you is.
That's what you is, woman.
That's
You
what
gonna have
you
to
is.
own it. Next week,
I'm
Wednesday,
gonna
you're
have
Yep.
gonna have
to.
to own it. You wrote
I'm
it.
gonna
Yep.
have to own it. I'm gonna have to own it.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, I will. I will. But you guys, I appreciate y'all so much. Crystal, it's always a pleasure. A, you are
Yes.
like family. You are here. It is
Yep. You here now.
always love when you are here. You always come. Look, you always come with when you come on here. So I love it, and I just I always tell people, I say certain people they come on here and it's like it's not an interview. It's just we just have a simple conversation. We have a girlfriend chat when we come on here.
Hmm.
So that's what it's always like. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you guys so much for tuning in week after week, to these
Yes, thank you.
interviews. So I appreciate you. And as I always say, until next time, don't forget to get caught up. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Yay.